I forgot which camera to look at, everybody. Hello! How are you all doing? It's lovely to see you all here. Welcome back to Hobby Night. I am Angela, and I am joined once again by Shea.
Hello.
He's here, and we're gonna finish painting these orcs. We're gonna paint these orcs, but I'm looking at the table here.
Yes.
And I realized I might have forgotten something quite important for this whole painting prospect that we're doing here.
I've forgotten.
Well, mostly the water and brushes we need to actually apply paint to these models. So let me just, oopsie daisy. Let me pop away, grab the water and our brushes, and I'll leave you guys with Chaos Cultist to hang out with Shea. And Seth is also here if he wants to chat in as well, but it is not hugely necessary. I just wanted to call out everybody in the room because we're a big party today. But yeah, guys, I'll be right back.
Hey, guys.
It's Papa. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Hold on, you're literally blocking.
Oh, sorry.
The goods.
What? I don't know what just happened. I just heard her scream from the other room. Okay, well, that's always a good sign. Hello, Luke. Hello, Mike. Hello, Dan. I hope you guys are doing well.
Hello, everyone.
Do you need me to go grab some?
Good. So what happened was, I'm a clumsy person, and as you all know, and I definitely bumped my full thing of water directly against the edge of my sink. Thankfully, it was on the inside portion of the sink, so the water mostly went back down the sink. But that did happen. That was the you might have heard as I bumped into things. Okay. We have a wet palette. We have a paper palette. No palette. I mean, I have my wet palettes over there, but we're not going to use that. It's complicated. Oh no. Where's the other one? Never mind.
Paper.
We're out of paper.
Or whatever. You're out of palette paper.
Okay, we can still use this.
We have the corner.
Yeah, I was like, we also can go over top this. It's really not going to be that big.
Is that literally the
No,
last
it's
one?
not the last one. We definitely have a second one. It's downstairs with the Noise Marines.
Oh, okay.
Because of when I was painting with my IPMS model, which you guys will get to see soon. Not yet. Oh! I'm sorry, where was it then?
It was in your bathroom.
Oh!
However, I think my drink's downstairs, so I'm still leaving.
Okay, well, can you give me a Mountain Dew while you're down there? Thanks. That's really sticky. I don't know why. I'm just going to remove that because I stuck my finger in it and I stuck to it a little bit. Okay, we're good. We got a clean paper palette.
Nice.
It's very warm today, everybody. And
It's
we were
warm.
out at our local farmers market. Super fun. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah,
for that,
it was
by the way.
actually super fun.
You can, so that's your brush. You should be able to,
Mine.
yep, you can also use any of these if you want. If you start feeling like you want a little bit of a finer tip, this is a slightly thinner brush. So if you are doing some like detail work and you feel like you just want, if it makes you feel like you have more control to have a smaller tip,
Okay.
I think it'll be fine. You can get the exact same results with this paintbrush.
Okay.
I mean, hell, you can get the same results with this paintbrush on fine details. It's all about control and pressure.
Right.
But I know that sometimes people feel a bit more comfortable using smaller tip brushes when they're starting to work on smaller details.
Got it.
And I'm not going to discourage that necessarily because I feel like if it's making you feel comfortable about it and just get to painting, then by all means do it.
Okay.
So feel free to use that one or jump to these other ones, but you'll be fine with this if you want to use that. And yeah, it's just about continuing on. So where we left off, and I will engage with chat here in just a moment more directly, but I wanted to get us started. You're actually at a really good point. You have done a lot of work on your cloth. You've done a lot of work on the skin, obviously. It really looks good. I really like how it turned out. So really, like, you can either continue working on some more of the outfit, maybe doing like the belt, and I don't know if you want to do that in more colors or if you want to switch to metallics.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe metallic just because it kind of had a little more of a...
It does have a little bit more of a structured vibe to it,
Yeah.
so you could give it something like that. So we have a couple of gold and silver already out. We also have a bunch more. Like here is a like a brassy color tone. So if you want something that's a little bit gold but has a tiny silver hint to it, this is actually really good. I used this on the Marvel Girls. If you watched me, I don't remember if you mentioned that you watched me paint the Marvel Girls.
I did watch it.
So on the bases for the Hellfire Club symbol, this is that metallic that I used on the base. So I really like that one. Actually, it's one of my favorites. We also have a variety of just like other metallic tones. If you want to go colored metallics, you can also do that. Because you see all of those on the very top right there, the like pink, blue, and then the teal, purple, green. Yeah. Those are all metallics, but they're colors. So if you want to do like energy weapons or something like that, you can totally do that.
That's so fun.
Yeah. Lots and lots of opportunities. Or you
so much paint.
So much paint.
So many options.
Almost too many options. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so that's what the top brass looks like. I like that a lot. It's a really pretty color.
No, I love that.
Yeah, that's the Marvel Girls. Oh, and actually so this is the metallics. So that's the blue, that dark blue metallic that's over there. This is the dark purple metallic, and then actually on her weapon is the pink metallic. Awesome. So if you do want to play with some colored metallics on like even the blades or something like that, you could absolutely.
So we have a lot of greetings and welcome.
Yes, hello everybody. I also see we have a couple of members who are in chat, and I just want to specifically call out hello to them. So hello Luke, hello to Telos, and hello to Steve. It's lovely to see you guys in chat, and everybody else who's hanging out. Thank you guys for being here with us. It's lovely to have you.
Yes. Telos also says they found a super glue with a brush applicator.
What?
It said it's called GH1200.
Okay. That is amazing, and I will need to look that up, because if that's going to be a game changer if that is an actual super glue with a brush applicator. So the reason that's a big deal for me is this glue, which I really like using. It's called Tamiya Extra Thin Cement. It is a plastic specific adhesive. So it only works on a particular type of plastic. It will not work on, say, like resin or like those kinds of materials. It's also not going to work on like wood or metal or something. Right. So because there are resin miniatures like made of resin, and then back in the day, they're not as common modernly, but there are still some companies who do it. But there's a lot of people that used to make metal miniatures, and you would still have to glue like arms or weapons to them or something. So you would need glue for that, and that's what most people just use, like normal super glue. But I hate this stuff because it comes with these tips, and they get clogged. It's sometimes, and they just flow everywhere. And so when you're doing something really detailed. Okay, I have to try this. Interesting. So when you're doing something like when I had to glue a hand to an arm, for example, I don't want a big glob of glue to accidentally rush out of this stupid little tube thing.
Totally.
So I like this because it's got a brush tip on it, which means that I can actually literally paint the glue where I want it to be, and control really easily how much glue I'm putting on place, but it only works on plastic, and it also smells. So you don't want to, you smell it a little bit. Yeah, it's a very strong smell. So it's a little bit, you don't want to be breathing it in a lot. We usually have if I'm gluing a lot of things like together, I will literally like have a fan and or make sure the window's open always, because it gets a little stinky.
Yeah, that was like the tiniest amount you pulled out, and it was like,
yeah, no, it was pungent. No, it was completely pungent. This is also a very fresh bottle of the stuff too, so it probably hasn't lost its like acetone smell or whatever. But I like this stuff because it's really easy to glue Warhammer miniatures together with it, because they're all plastic.
Got it.
They don't. Got it. There are some that like.
Look what Luke said.
That's true. Yes, I'm sorry, Luke. I'm sorry. I had to explain because she doesn't have context. I know that we all are familiar with the old white metal miniatures, but like not everybody is. So I was just giving some context. Don't be offended. It's okay. We're all young at heart. Okay, we're all very young at heart. That's why we still play with toys.
It's true.
It's true. It's so true. But yeah, so like I have never seen a super glue, because like I've used brushes to apply this to miniatures. That's actually, but I sacrifice those brushes because it clumps the bristle, and you just can't use it anymore. Yeah. You can't clean it out. It sticks the bristles.
Permanent super glue.
Exactly. So the fact that they have some kind of material on those bristles, like whatever those bristles are made of, must not actually adhere.
Just an example of an old white.
Oh
metal
yes,
painting.
one of the old white metal ones. This actually is quite vintage. This is one of the.
It's not as vintage as our like lead.
No. They used to be made out of lead.
Oh God.
In which case you wouldn't want to lick your fingers
No.
afterwards. But like,
Well, it's lead-based pewter.
It's lead-based pewter, but it's still something you don't want to. But this is just pewter. But yeah, this is the old
That's
metal
so
miniature.
cool.
It's very heavy.
Oh my goodness.
Imagine having a full 2,000 point army, which means that you probably have like 40 models.
That would be
minimum.
so heavy to carry around.
Mhm. Yep.
They have wheels.
They have
They
wheels.
literally would make containers that you could carry things around with so that they would have wheels because it would get heavy. But yeah, we can get started. Let's go ahead and dive into some painting. I'm gonna grab this brush. And I think you can really start either with like whatever you want to do with your belt color. So have you made a decision on like what
I think I'm
metallic?
gonna do the
brass?
brassy one.
Yeah, it's a good color.
I feel like it's kind of matching the vibe that I have going on.
I think it does too. I think it's gonna really go with your brown tones, Will, and also your
It was rubbing against the toolbox.
the toolbox, as well as the pink tones that you've got going, because it's got warmth to it, but it's not like too yellow.
Yes. So is this the same like concept where I want to like?
Yeah, you're gonna want to
Spread
thin.
it out,
So you're gonna
spread
want
it
to
out.
thin this down a little bit. So metallics are gonna go on a little bit. Oh my god, what is happening? I think it's plugged.
Yeah, pen.
I think I do. I don't want to squeeze too hard because the pop off everywhere. I did that actually
look
literally
funny, though.
like.
I was wondering where that box was.
Yeah, no, I have it over here. There we go. There we go. Some actual paint flow. Heck yeah. So this is actually a brand of paints, by the way. It's not super important to you, but this is actually a brand of paints that's made by a content creator. A lot of miniature creators, some of them have diversified and gone into product design to a certain degree.
Got it.
And this guy is in Games Workshop. He was one of their top painters for a while, and he was doing a lot of their presentation work. So he was on their YouTube videos, and he had a thing where he would say too thin coats.
So what it was is Duncan Rhodes, this person
Yes.
who is now an influencer, was a professional painter and marketer for Warhammer Games Workshop's company.
Mhm.
Okay.
And he was their spokesperson in so much as he became a meme in the community of whatever Lord Duncan says is gospel. He is the pope of
Painting.
miniature painting.
Got it.
In a respectful, joking manner.
Yes.
And what happened is they launched a line that was the contrast paint line that you've been using the last week and this week.
Mm-hmm.
And as Angela said, the tagline for that was
One thick coat. So they had been for years and years using this guy who had coined the phrase "too thin coats" because
you want to apply two thin coats to the miniature
Yeah,
to make
so-
sure for an even coating.
yeah, because like and especially and with the metallics, I still find that that's extremely true because they are a little you kind of want to put them on thin or they're gonna be too goopy. So feel free to you might want to put a little bit more water into that, like
More
just
water.
a tiny bit more. There you go.
Okay.
So you kind of want it to be like it is like melted butter. That's the consistency you
Okay.
kind of want to go for.
I mean, it was to the point that they did the ad for the one thick coat where they had him like in a royal throne and like he was like, I'm making a declaration. Like it was that much of a meme that the company that he worked for like used it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he left the company, became an influencer himself, he launched this paint line, which is called,
Too thin coats.
Too thin coat.
as his subtle rebellion against his former
Which I just thought
corporate
was very fun. All right, I'm gonna work on some plate mail with my armor because I got a bunch of really big, chunky armor pieces.
Are you doing the ball as metal, or is that going to be stone?
No, I'm gonna do the ball and metal. It looks more like hammered metal to me than it does like sculpted stone. Duncan is a god. Yes, everybody.
I was going to say yes, it's still.
He is.
All
He
praise.
is. All praise, Lord Duncan.
Duncan is the dorkiest looking British guy you can probably
He's.
imagine.
He is. It's great.
We agree.
But his paints are quite good.
Chad asked me to move down a little bit since they can't see any painting.
Oh, I am so sorry. Yeah, do you guys want me to turn? I can turn the
Turn the camera on. I have it positioned so that it should mostly be where the table is.
It is actually like really well positioned for that right now. So here, I'll go ahead and throw that on.
You have to.
Oh, I forgot I hit it. Sorry. There we go. Can you flip it so maybe it's... Do you guys want it where the miniature is facing you or where it's facing me, chat?
Well, it's gonna go.
These are the questions that we need to know.
It's the answers. It's the questions I need to ask, the answers I need to know.
Well, so why are you two on the wrong sides?
What?
It's mirroring you.
Oh, I see.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa! Suddenly reversed.
No, you were readers.
Well, it looked. It felt
It did.
it felt right from my perspective because I was adjacent to me.
You're looking at a mirror.
Yeah, now it's not
A mirror.
Now it's
Yeah.
not a mirror. Okay,
I got
I can switch it back to a
No,
mirror.
no, it's absolutely fine.
I don't think it really affects the viewers at all.
It
so
really
do you want
doesn't.
it back
No,
to the
it's
mirror?
genuinely fine. It was just a weird change.
It just was wigging me out because I'd look at the screen and then at you two and I'd be like, wait.
I had
Which
to,
direction am
which-
I looking?
what is happening here? What is happening? Also, I saw somebody in chat ask how the painting's going. So far, it's going well. We just got started.
Yeah.
But we had fun last time, and I'm looking forward to having some fun too.
Listen,
Okay.
based on what I've seen on most streamers, getting started on the activity within 15 minutes of the start is like on
Impressive.
time.
I know.
It is
I know.
very
We're on top of things today. It's because I should tell you my wonderful story about how I almost lost my super expensive water bottle.
Oh, really?
Well, I wanted to have something to share, and I'm actually like weirdly tired. So yes, so my wonderful water bottle that you guys are all familiar with, I had a panic today because we went to the farmer's market, as I mentioned. Lovely time. I picked up some fresh bacon, got some fresh eggs, got some hummus and pita. It was delightful. I think they picked up a couple of vegetables and stuff. So it was delightful. It was also freaking hot as balls outside. So I was like, I'm gonna bring my water bottle this time because we're gonna be out for a little bit. Like, still only like roughly 30 minutes or so, but it's like 80 already, and it was 10 o'clock in the morning. And so I was quite warm, and I was walking around with my water bottle, and at some point I left it at one of the booths. Didn't realize it until I got back to the car, which was like 2 blocks away.
I know.
So I didn't want to make my guests like run around with me some more because it's super hot. It's very bright, and we're all sensitive to our skin burning. So I was like, you guys wait here. We're going to turn the car on. We'll get the AC going. Actually, Chaos Cultist got that going for me because I actually just was like, I have to go find my bottle. And I ran. But I was like, you guys all stay here. It's fine. I'll deal with it. So I chucked it down back the 2 blocks back to the market. Backtracked from where I last had been and worked my way to where I had been at the beginning. And thankfully found it about halfway through. Left it at the bacon vendor. Man was like
the bacon vendor.
the bacon vendor.
bacon.
Okay, he's like a meat vendor, but
butcher.
Butcher. The man was selling meat,
The man was selling meat.
thick, delicious
The meat vendor.
meat. And it was amazing because he still had it, and he was like, "I'm really glad you came back. I knew somebody had left this, and I was really hoping they would come back because it looked expensive." I was like, "It was." Thank you for holding it for me. And I just sucked the water down out of it because I had run the 2 blocks, which made my shins throb because I was not wearing the proper shoes for running. I was in boots, not my sneakers. And it was just ridiculous. But I got it back, so everything's good. Everything's fine.
I'm glad we were able to rescue your water bottle.
Me too. I was mostly just because I was also really thirsty when we got back, and that's the whole reason I realized didn't have it, is because I was like, I'm thirsty. Where's my water? Oh. Oh no.
I was just running through my head like I was in charge of carrying the bag.
You were, and I was in charge of carrying the water, and I completely fucked that up. Completely. Oh, am I in good focus, by the way? I didn't actually check. I think we look good. Is it in focus for you guys, chat? Can you
Yeah,
tell me?
that looks good enough.
Try a winter in northern England and you will never say the weather is too warm. Listen, Gordon, I understand. I could believe that. I have been to England in the winter. Was that in the winter when we went?
It snowed.
That's right, it did snow. So yeah, I've been in England in the winter. Honestly,
It
like
wasn't northern England.
it wasn't north.
London.
No, it was London. But it did snow in London, which was impressive.
Yeah, but I mean, that means it was, and I mean, it was not sticking. It was.
No, it was just snowing. Like how it normally snows in a city. I don't does it stick in cities normally? I don't think I didn't think modernly.
Yeah, I mean like in the parks and that kind of place.
I guess if you're also in a very, very cold city.
Yeah, not in the
Like,
roads.
yeah.
Or anything that has like a heater on.
I'm just thinking in the US, I'm thinking of a big city, even New York. I don't think snow touches down on in the city. Does
Not
it?
downtown.
Yeah.
That's why there's the jewelry store in Times Square that every year promises that if it snows in Times Square on New Year's Eve, they'll give away free jewelry.
Oh, really? Is that still a thing? I knew that was
It was a thing up until the 2010s at least. I don't
Amazing.
know about it anymore, but it was because all of the body heat and electricity and everything running through Times Square always ensures Times Square is 60 degrees
Okay.
with that many humans in it. So the snow, even when it does snow on New Year's Eve, doesn't actually stick.
Got it. I'm really glad I got it back as well. It was a little traumatic. Also just embarrassing because of course I did it when I had people over. So that was good.
It happens.
It does. Makes for a good story, right?
Or something.
It makes me look silly for the peoples to entertain them. I think should I have done this in silver? I guess that's fine. It almost kind of looks like a bug carapace because he's got so many spikes coming off it, but I think the spikes are coming through him. I think that's because he has spikes.
Yeah, I think he has spikes.
And I think that's just spikes growing off of his shoulder, butting into the armor. So I think metallic is still fine. Decision has been made. Not
Should I
going
make
back
the helmet metallic?
I think you could. I think you could also make it leather, like a leather cap, but it looks more metal to me.
Yeah, because it just looks so rigid.
The front ridging looks structured. So I think you could easily make that metallic. And I think that'll be a nice tie-in too to tie in the belt.
Yeah.
Because especially with some of those colors, when I'm painting miniatures, I don't necessarily want to have a super, super varied color palette. Sometimes you want to keep your colors relatively cohesive or even use them the same color in multiple places just to add some unity.
Totally.
And I think that will help do that with yours very, very nicely. I really, really like this metallic. Have you felt like you've needed to go back for a second coat? Because I honestly don't feel like I've needed a second coat.
I don't feel like I needed it. I just did it anyway.
That's fair.
But I didn't feel strong confidence in why I needed it.
No, that's absolutely fair. That's one of the reasons I actually really like Duncan's paints is because I actually, despite them being called too thin coats, I actually don't feel like I need too thin coats most of the time. I actually think they have such good coverage that you can honestly just put a single coating sometimes on it and just be done. And it works really well.
The power of urban heat island effect. Hey, multiculturalist James.
Lovely to see you in chat. The orc painting is going quite well. We're starting on metallics. We're starting on getting on their armor. We worked on sort of the soft leathers last time.
Angela.
Yes. Fuck, the art is so good.
I'm looking
He's
at the final.
indestructible.
I'm looking at the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering previews.
When Zarnik enters, each player sacrifices half of the non-god creatures they control.
Of their choice, rounded down.
And then whenever a player
Of
sacrifices
their
another
choice.
creature, put a +1. Holy fuck, he's gonna get huge. Immediately.
Well, it's 5 costs.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's the Umbral God, I get it, but so what is he? He's not a card that is a reprint of another card.
No.
He's just brand new.
Yeah.
That was the other thing we were talking.
This Clive is amazing.
Holy cow, that looks gorgeous. Oh, and he turns into Ifrit
He
still.
turns into an Ifrit saga.
Oh my god, that's such a good idea. Okay, so I was talking with Shea, for those of you, I'm gonna divert us to Magic for a moment. I was talking with Shea earlier about this set, about the Magic set coming out. And one of the things I was telling her was I really like how they're handling a lot of the mechanics in the game because they're making it both reminiscent, that's a beautiful Chocobo card, reminiscent of the actual Final Fantasy games and playing the RPG, as well as it's still feeling very, this is Magic, which I think is a problem Magic has when they do these collab sets and these Universe Beyond sets. They don't always, they either really get the collab correct and completely fuck over the Magic side of it, or they get the Magic side correct and kind of just slap on some art of whatever the Universes Beyond that they're putting in there. And I think that's what they did terribly in Assassin's Creed. I don't think they linked that game to the mechanics of Magic at all in a good or fun or engaging way. With what they're doing with the Final Fantasy stuff, the fact that Clive turns into Ifrit, which is still being treated like a saga, which is exactly how they've already previewed the other summons being handled, which is appropriate because in Magic, sagas only last 3 turns or 3 rounds, and in Final Fantasy, summons only last for a short period of time. You don't get to have them through the entire fight.
Got it.
So, like, the fact that they're actually able to do that and make that feeling still exist, like I actually have summoned something, and the same thing with Clive. Clive doesn't turn into Ifrit for the entire time. He has a limited, like, basically time span when he can do that. And it's so cool that they're actually doing that. That's gonna be such a dense looking card too, with him on one side and a saga on the other. Good lord. But yeah, it's really like that's what I mean when I say that they're really doing a good job of like making the mechanics work with the mechanics that you would find in the game, so it feels very like, oh yes, this makes sense and feels appropriate still. And it was such a beautiful, like, shocking thing to see them do, because I feel like they've not done that well in some of their other, like, collabs. You acted like you had a question.
Oh, sorry.
No, please.
Should I do the chain the same color?
I think if you wanted to do the chain in a different color, you could. Do you know what you want to do for the blades? Do you want to do them in a metallic, or do you want to do them in, like, make it look like stone or something?
I think metallic is fine.
Okay. Then my suggestion would maybe be
Match
to
it
do
to that.
do the blades and the chain in the same thing. That way you have something else that is another silver tone. Because I assume you probably want to go more silver rather than gold for the blades. Or were you thinking gold?
No, silver sounds good.
Okay. So yeah, I would say like maybe go with like do the chain in silver. That way it's just like an iron chain.
Okay. And then I don't know what this like part of this boot is, and I'm like, is that metal? Is that just? I'm guessing that's just like more leather, maybe.
I think you could make it either. I think you could either have it be leather, or you could make it
Is
metal.
the thing on the heel?
Yeah, like the like just this like.
It's
rim.
the cuff.
I think it's like the when you got like the Uggs and you got the boots with the fur at the top.
I think he's got leg wraps, like he's got big fur like
Right.
socks, and then I think those are the tops of his shoes. So
Top
I think
of
you
the
could,
boots.
yeah. So you
Okay.
could either make it leather or you could go metallic, because you could.
Okay.
I could see it being like an embroidered like or a rimmed like.
Yeah, I just wasn't like I wasn't 100% sure what I was looking at when I was looking at the boots.
Sometimes it's a little hard to tell. In which case you can. I just tend to be like, I'm just gonna make it all the same brown color then, and just let the
That's fair.
shadows do their thing
That's
and
fair.
make it add some variety without me actually having to do a lot of work.
Okay, that's fair.
Boots with the fur. Exactly. Being a Yu-Gi-Oh enjoyer yourself, you feel like you're never advanced enough to be a rules guru. That's... Oh, with what Ryu said as well? Okay. You know, Dan, I want to talk about that. Like, I find that interesting because I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh is such a rules-dense game because it's, like, the rules are constantly changing because it's just what's on the card. From my understanding, I have not played enough Yu-Gi-Oh to really say that.
I've watched enough GIFs of turn 2 Yu-Gi-Oh plays to know, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought Yu-Gi-Oh was so dependent on just like, here's your very basic where cards get set down, but like otherwise you were following the instructions on the cards, which can sometimes have you do wild things. So I find that very, like, an interesting comment as somebody who has played more Magic and less Yu-Gi-Oh! And finds Yu-Gi-Oh! To be the more rules-dense and sort of challenging. Whereas I feel like Magic repeats itself so much. Like, they recycle and rehash their own rules so often. Sometimes maybe giving them slightly different names, but it's essentially the same rule. Ryu asks, hello, Angela. Lovely to see Shea again. I miss painting with friends who no longer collect Warhammer. Aww, I'm sorry that you're not able to paint with your friends anymore, but at least you get to hang out and paint with us. That's what we're doing these painting streams for, and hopefully you can get some painting done with us. What have you been painting recently, if you have? And if you haven't, that's absolutely fine. What was the last project you worked on? And that goes for anybody in chat. Tell me about what you're working on. What kinds of beautiful things are you painting or building? Oh, also, is the audio for the music for you guys okay? Okay, good. Just realized I hadn't asked about that. I asked about like how we sounded, but I didn't ask how anything else sounded. I can hear our music, but there we go. Yeah, I like that. Feel free to use my silver, by the way, if you want. If that's
okay.
If you want to do for your
for my sword.
Yeah, for your swords and stuff. I have plenty on the palette, so you can absolutely.
Want to look at my what I'm doing? I think I need to like
give your opinion.
Yeah, give your opinion.
I think you're doing a really good job. Yeah. I like the color choices you've been going with. I know I said that a lot last time, but I was looking at it earlier this week in anticipation of you coming over, which I really should have cleaned my desk up more, but I didn't. I'm so sorry. But I was anticipating it. I was like, man, she really, for her first miniature, this is really fucking good.
Thank you. It's just my previous art experience coming through.
It does help sometimes a little bit. Like, it's not necessary, but there's definitely, like, a confidence, I think, I see from people who have some... If they have some other form of art background, I feel like they go into miniature painting a bit more confidently, because they at least have some general understanding of, like, that sort of creative process.
Totally. Well, and it's like... I feel like paintbrushes are pretty intimidating if you've never really...
Oh, they are.
...done paintbrushes before.
100%. Well, also, I think the paint can be pretty intimidating, too, because, like, you see... Like, if you watch people paint, sometimes their paint does not flow the same way that you... Like, your paint might flow out of the bottle, and you're like...
true.
Like, what the hell am I doing? And then... what am I doing wrong? And it turns out it's generally just a little bit of moisture needed in there, but still, it's one of those things you really don't like. You have to do it to figure out ratios and stuff. I think like you just got to keep painting to sort of figure that kind of stuff out over time. Oh, you're 3D printing some Wendigo skull helmets? That's awesome. What are you putting them on? Like, are they full, like a full human scale Wendigo helmet? Or are you talking like a Wendigo helmet for like a bust or like a miniature? Like, or is it actual, like you could wear it? Basically, you're customizing Kitbashing Daughters of Cain and also Tau and Sisters of Battle, making your own custom faction. That's awesome. I did a little bit of kitbashing myself recently, and to explain it for Shea so that she knows what kitbashing is and she's not completely lost on this conversation. Kitbashing is when you take miniatures that you might like have on a sprue or something like this, and you're like, oh, well, I'm not gonna build this as the instructions told me. I'm gonna build this as I decide that I want to. And a lot of times when people kitbash, there's different levels of kitbashing you can do. There is I'm going to take the existing pieces and I'm just going to like put this hand here instead of this hand here because I like the look of it or something like that. Then there's the level of kitbashing where you are literally cutting like arms in half off of the sprue and using like which is actually what I had to do for the diorama that I showed you.
Oh my god, that's so fun. I love that.
So you like I cut like pieces of the miniature like in pieces so that I could only use portions of them and attach them to completely separate pieces to make the pose that I wanted.
Totally.
Some people go so far as to full on if they're not 3D sculpting their own stuff and printing it like because they're doing it like digitally.
Yeah.
They'll use what's a material called green stuff, which is like a epoxy putty. So it's a 2-part epoxy that you mix together and it turns it green. It's a yellow and a blue, so it turns green, hence the name. But that stuff is used, that's what they actually used to do to sculpt miniatures before they cast them back in the day, because back in the day when miniatures were made, it was more of a casting process rather than like a printing process, which it is now. And so they would sculpt things out of green stuff, and that would then get cast, so it would be a mold, and then they would pour the metal into it so that they could get multiple models out of that one cast. Those eventually like wore out, and it's one of the reasons that they eventually started transitioning over to plastic, because it was just the molds last longer, it's less abrasive on them, because the metal eventually warps them and deforms them and damages them.
Okay.
Because you're pouring hot liquid into it.
Got it.
And so the plastic kind of won over that process. But some people will still, when they're kit bashing, they will full on, if they can't find the piece that they need, they will still full on green stuff sculpt it. And
That's so
like,
cool.
and do, so there's like a huge variety of kit bashing. And it's a really huge umbrella of things that you can get into. It's a very cool part of the hobby community.
Like making it more your own.
It's a lot of people will do it in Warhammer so that they can make the chapter feel either more like how the chapter looks in like the books and stuff, because they want it really, they want that level of embellishment, that level of detail on the characters.
Got it.
And some people just do it because they're like, I have a specific aesthetic that I like. Like, I really want it grimdark, and I want everybody to look like they have extreme battle damage. And so they'll, like, literally heat up metal rods and shove them into the miniatures to do, like, gun holes and stuff like that. I've seen some people do, like, battle scenes between, like, Space Marines and some sort of, like, Xeno or whatever. And one that I saw recently that was really well done is somebody took a soldering iron and melted the head of a Necron off, and gave it this beautiful like blast effect in the chest. And he had a Space Marine with a plasma gun doing a big into that,
so
that it made
so
the
fun.
like, and it was such a good, and I love seeing that kind of like kit bashing stuff. Like, that's my favorite type of kit bashing, is when they kit bash them into dioramas and do like narrative scenes. That's personally like where, if I get more into it, that's what I'm gonna do. Jorgen, it's lovely to see you. You want to know if I'm planning to paint or ever get into the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 board game miniatures. Well, Jorgen, the answer to your question is a definitive yes, because I pre-ordered that. I put it on the GameFound campaign.
Yeah, to be clear, there are multiple board games.
I am specifically getting the Cyberpunk 2077 one that comes with the giant V statue of him fighting what's his face? Adam Smasher with the cyber, what are the
the Blaze.
The Mantis Blades, thank you.
Yes.
I was like, it's a bug. I can't remember the bug though. I am so warm. Is it really hot in here to you?
No.
Okay, I am boiling. I'm gonna drink some water.
Probably just the light.
I think it is. I think it's all the.
Turn the AC further up.
No, that's fine. If no one else is hot, then don't don't do that. I think it's just me. But yeah, I am definitely getting that. I backed it. Got the. Oh, we might need more. It's drying up.
Well, I don't need much more. It's okay though.
Okay, well, I still need a little bit more. So
You're like, well,
I need more.
Also, Slink asked a couple of times, if they're still in chat, if you had any opinions about the Battlefleet Gothic, or sorry, not Battlefleet Gothic, Battletech Gothic.
Oh, yes. So, Battletech Gothic. I have not picked it up yet.
Is it out?
I don't think it is. I think they had a release. I think they had a limited release at Gen Con.
Oh, okay. That's in August.
Well, I think it came out last year at Gen Con.
Okay.
Remember, we talked about it.
I thought it was just a preview.
Was it just a preview? I thought they had...
I'll look it up.
Okay, regardless, I don't know if it's out yet. I am interested in it. I have concerns about the concept as a whole in regards to them doing
it's not
genre like versions. And so BattleTech is a game that's been around for ages. It is big giant robots. Do you know the game series Mech Warrior?
That sounds familiar.
Okay, so Mech Warrior 5 came out recently on PlayStation 5, etc. All those, and it's basically you are in a cockpit of a giant walking robot. Do I have one nearby? I don't. It's in the other room. Of like these humanoid looking robots. And basically it's a war simulation. And it's been around since, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, like the 70s or something like that.
Video game or board game?
Both. It started as tabletop, but they do have a video game version, and they actually had these giant pods, which there are still a few of them around, but you could literally go into these pods and it simulated the cockpit for you. It is the coolest fucking thing.
That's so fun.
I've done it. They had them at Gen Con one year, and it was the coolest thing. It's supposed to be out in June and July. Okay, perfect. In 1984. Okay, so BattleTech's been around since 1984. These are some of the like.
Oh yeah,
classic
yeah.
mechs.
Okay,
so you've probably seen.
I've seen these
stuff
for
like
sure.
this. So Mech Warrior and BattleTech are sort of linked but not linked.
Okay.
There's a little bit of open license that this company is running into a little bit, and I think it's partially why they're doing this new initiative. So BattleTech for years, since the 80s, has looked like this. This has been all it is.
Got it.
It's been a very not like they specifically have avoided making themselves look like Warhammer 40k intentionally. It's a very different game. It's hex as opposed to normal like round bases. So like it's actually on a hex board. It's a really cool system. They've done some various iterations of it. They even have a version of BattleTech called Alpha Strike, which actually plays very similarly to Warhammer 40k. Like they literally changed some things to make it feel more similar to that than not. What they've done now is they have this new initiative where they're coming out with these various box sets that are set in various genres, essentially.
They're multi-universe.
They're multi-universing it because I think it's partially because of their open license problem, where they can't actually like fully lock down some of these designs and licenses because it's tied to other things and it's been around for so long.
Ownership of the designs in the actual game are actually split between different IP owners even to this day.
Okay.
Like to the point that there are lawsuits with, you've heard of the anime Macross? The classic 80s anime.
Yes. Yeah.
There were lawsuits involving that because, like,
there was a couple of mechs in BattleTech that were basically, I believe, that literally were the Macross.
That they got like handshake agreements to do certain things with, but then they did more with it, and so part of the game got like locked away for 20 years because of an ongoing lawsuit.
Right.
I don't know the details.
Yeah.
Someone in chat knows.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody in chat knows more details, but basically there's a lot of complexity to this IP because of some handshake deals in the past, etc. And I think they're trying to do this alternate universe stuff where they're trying to, and they're literally shoving the mechs like into genres, because this one is BattleTech Gothic, which is annoying because there's a game from Warhammer 40k called BattleFleet Gothic. And it's very fucking similar. I fucked it up when I talked about it in the news so many times. I had to redo so many takes. But so they have a BattleTech Gothic, which is basically their grim dark version of BattleTech, which is basically means that they're going, here's 40k in BattleTech. Like they redesigned some of the mechs and made them a little bit more 40k-esque. They look like they're demon-esque. And I think like I don't necessarily think it's fully a bad idea. I just think that starting this project by ripping off GW's grim dark aesthetic, I think is like the worst idea, because I feel like BattleTech fans, and hell, the BattleTech fans in chat can tell me, like, it's not that I think that all BattleTech fans hate Games Workshop and Warhammer 40k. I know plenty of people who play both. but they play them for very different reasons. Like they're very different games, and they kind of like the fact that BattleTech is not
Right. It's like
Warhammer
its own
40k.
thing.
They
Yeah.
love that it's its own thing. And one of the cool things about BattleTech is that when you have the stats for this robot, you are having stats for individual arms, the cockpit, the head, the legs, because you can damage the legs, you can take out the weapons. You are specific, like it's not the same way when you're killing a guy in Warhammer 40k where it's like, oh, he has a couple wounds maybe, and then he's off the board. This is like, no, you have to like really work these. You have to dismantle these things because they're like they can overheat. Like there's a heating mechanic in the game that's done all through the tabletop that you have to track, and it's a very different system. And I just don't know.
I'm showing them off camera, chat. These are the current comps for the mechs, and you can see they're literally just spiky.
Yeah, those say spikes.
Yeah, they just added spikes to make them grimdark, and it's like, and that's I just don't know if that's gonna appeal to their existing audience. Like it might bring in some new fans, but I don't know if it's going to attract enough new fans to ignite
a passion,
and I think it might potentially drive away some of their old fans, because one of the next ones that they're doing is a ray guns and lasers like aesthetic. So it's going to be like 1950s ray gun sci-fi, like, which could be fun.
I feel
again,
like that could be fun,
but again, it's really the antithesis of like what BattleTech is as an IP.
The BattleTech is very well known for having. So while 40k, yes, had its massive amounts of fiction and all of this, BattleTech has had a lore system that's been somewhat open source to their fandom.
Mm-hmm.
So like the fan wikis that like outline like this small kingdom of 5-star systems in this subsector of space is considered as canon as anything else in BattleTech.
Got it.
Whereas in 40k, everything is owned and approved officially by the company, like Star Wars or Star Trek or anything like that.
Right.
And so BattleTech has a little bit of trouble with like what their identity even is, because in the official stuff, they are very like they're a more like. Take like Star Trek and then add some like anime advancement, because they obviously have mechs in it. But it's a lot of noble houses. People live pretty well in a lot of places, opposed to Warhammer, where everything sucks for everyone. And even if you're a noble, there's a chance there's a chaos demon eating your soul. You know? Whereas BattleTech can literally have heroes who it's like Sir Burtnaber, you know, who fights nobly. And the fandom of BattleTech doesn't really want it to then become 40k.
Oh yeah, there's a novel that I need to read actually about a BattleTech guy, because like from my understanding,
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, BattleTech is very much Game of Thrones.
That is really.
But the problem is they're moving away from it by trying to copy 40k, which is all demons are possessing us and we have to fight them or else.
Yeah. Exactly. Also, I really want, before it goes off screen, the multiculturalist James said that, have I heard of Trench Crusade? Yes. I believe I have. Is that was the Kickstarter?
Yep.
Is that the?
You know Trench Crusade.
I know Trench Crusade. I'm pretty sure I do. I'm trying to remember the creator, because was there not a content creator who's also like tied to it or something?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Possibly. I don't know. But yes, I know of Trench Crusade. I have not bought into it or anything, but I have heard a lot about it, and it looks gorgeous. You're absolutely right. It's a grimdark, like World War I style.
Okay.
Hence
the trench.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say like.
It's World War I meets Kingdom Death.
It's World War I meets Kingdom Death. That's a very good way to. That's a very good way to describe it. Slink, I'll have to look up what the King Crab one looks like. Which of the mechs that is. Because I don't remember which one, but I assume King Crab is the one from the Battlefleet Gothic, BattleTech Gothic. God damn it,
Gothic.
Oh, dude's got guns.
Yeah. So the idea, the elevator pitch for Trench Crusade is: what if the Crusades kept going until World War I?
Okay.
Oh, they're all humans?
Yes.
Oh, some of them.
This is all fighting over basically the Holy Land. And things have gone really, really far.
I know, I'm like watching it. I'm like,
Oh, okay. Weird.
I liked the
Yeah, I guess you could do like swords and stuff and like.
Is the classic
yeah, I was
assault
gonna
neck?
say those people with the like bandana,
Uh-huh.
not the bandanas, the bandages, the like yellow bandages all over their head.
Yeah, of course. Once again, I'm not saying it doesn't have fantasy elements. I'm just saying that's like it's set on Earth, and if you look at the map of the world, you can tell it's the Mediterranean,
Right.
and they're fighting over what is obviously Israel. But the major focus for them has been leaning heavily into.
Kevin, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Hello, lovely ladies. Lunch is over and back to work I go. I said hi, but chat is busy. Have a great, fun live stream, ladies. CC and Seth, I hate missing this today. I'm so sorry that you have to miss it today, but it's okay. You can watch it later. Don't worry, Havin. We'll see you in the VOD. So to you later when you're watching this, hi, Havin. It's lovely to see you in chat. All right. I hope that will help make it a little bit easier. I'm so sorry you had to work today, bud. And I'm sorry that we missed your message. Yeah, chat has been just flying by. There's so many of you.
Chat has been it's been hard to keep up with it.
I
trying to keep up.
I have to. Yes. Yep. Let me turn that off for a moment.
Sorry, just my last point about Trench Crusade.
Yes, please.
What they're trying to do, Angela, is they are trying to hold to some of the old aesthetics that we all feel like, whether or not it's true or not,
No, it's okay.
feel like Games Workshop has moved away from.
Yes, they are. Yeah. It is they're going into the hardcore grimdark, which
It makes me think of like Berserk in that religion.
This guy is literally, the character we're looking at on screen, chat, is literally, I think I have the manga of Berserk that armor is in.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
giving like the pinwheel thing and like the weird ass helmet and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the Crusade arc or something. What the fuck it was. But
But I know exactly which one you're talking about. Where they go to the castle, like, or the fortress or whatever, and he has to like get into it or something. And
Yeah,
there's all the Crusader guys there, and they're like,
That's very beginning of the show.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
in the 3D, in the like remake.
Oh, yeah, let's not talk about
So I don't think the 3D version was that bad.
that. You don't remember parts of it. There's parts of it where he's just moving like this.
Okay, maybe I'm remembering like the second season.
Yeah, the later seasons were better.
Okay, maybe I
Yeah.
just remember. Maybe I boycotted for my brain the first season, and I just remembered the
Oh,
good
season one's really bad.
Okay, well, I'll trust you on that.
Oh,
Also,
come on,
hello,
everyone.
Paul from London. It's lovely to see you.
Something that's showing.
Okay.
Shea.
Yes.
Not to be annoying.
No, you're not being annoying at all. Ask questions.
Well, I kind of wanted to get a caffeine drink.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What do you want? Some Mio, or do you want a? I have Pepsi. I have Mountain Dew. I have blood orange soda, as well as I can do a Mio of blue. I don't have any of the red
I
left.
don't really know what the Mio is. but
So
I'm
it
gonna-
is just a
What are
flavor.
these words you say?
Sorry. So all,
Fruit punch.
it's
Okay.
it's a caffeine. It's how
It's
do I
fruit punch
describe
with
this?
Caffeine. That's
Yeah,
all.
it's fruit punch with caffeine.
They add water.
Yeah, you just
Okay,
you do a squirt, and we'll do a smaller squirt than what I give him because it's like
I felt like you put a lot in there.
I put a lot in for him.
It's
He needs a lot. we
just need
run
soda.
on caffeine.
You just need a soda, or what are you thinking?
Oh, yeah, I think like a Pepsi would be.
A Pepsi? Sure. Let me go grab you a
You
Pepsi.
want me to get it? Is it just
Sure.
in the
It's just in the fridge, yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
No problem.
Sorry, I was just like I was realizing
You were dehydrated,
Well,
and we're gonna put
I
a
was
perfectly dehydrated drink into you.
yes. No, I was just kind of like feeling the like, oh yeah, I didn't have coffee this morning. I really need to like.
You were feeling the drain of streaming and needing energy.
The
I get
artillery witch is kind of the iconic miniature of the game right now.
Oh my god, I kind of love her.
No,
I haven't seen
I was
this.
gonna say that's actually.
Is she hovering a
Yes,
fucking like
Yeah, no, she totally is.
artillery
torpedo?
witches stalk the battlefield, hurling ordnance assembled in the death factories of Hell's third circle. They are completely mute, and no one has ever seen their faces. Some question if they're even living, and there are tales that they too were manufactured in Hell. They can pull an infinite number of infernal bombs from a portal to Hell that they can manifest at will. Their infernal explosives appear in their hand from a gate of midnight blackness.
Nice. Thank you, Jorgen. It was lovely to have you in chat while you were here, and I was happy to answer the
So they
question.
just materialize bombs and then throw them.
That's great.
That's like a whatever character type that's gonna be in the
Yeah,
trench.
it's a unit.
It's a unit in the trench game.
I love that.
Nah.
That's gonna be my unit.
Nice.
You know.
Just chucking artillery. I was watching a video actually.
Yeah, see, people
About-
already have the 3D prints for them and such too.
Oh, nice. I swear, is this not? What is the game that Black Magic Craft produces? Because I feel like he also did
Idols of Torment.
Idols of Torment. Okay, I was like sitting there, like I couldn't remember what it was called, and I know he also has an extremely grimdark tabletop miniature game that I think is the same scale. And I mean
Yes,
that in this,
it
I
is
mean in the same
large.
like that trench. What is it called again? Trench
Crusade.
Crusade. Thank you. I was like, it's two very common words that I think I've said dozens of times, but I can't remember now. Oh, I think Morgan likes your earrings.
Oh, thank you. They're I don't know how well you guys can really see
Oh,
them.
they're a little skull key.
It's like a
That's
skull
so-
key.
It's a skeleton
cool.
key.
Yeah, this is the map of Trench Crusades. It's just Europe.
It's
It's
just
just
Europe.
Europe.
Yeah, it's just Europe.
But you can see this area's not doing well.
Uh,
So that's why I was like,
yeah.
because the idea is the Crusades kept going, and then mystical shit happened because everyone got real faithful.
Everyone's super faithful.
And also into the occult.
Ooh, I love that. Though.
Well, because like I mean that's
I
like
feel
a
like you can't have artillery witches without being in the occult. At least a
exactly. You can't have grimdark. Period. I think without having occult involved, because I feel like
Some
to have
level.
dark in the context that grimdark tends to refer to, it tends to be a little mystical, little smidge mystical. I put a little bit more silver on it.
Yeah, I think it was the kid who actually played the Battletech game.
Mech Warrior.
Yeah.
'Cause I mean, like the first one came out like in the 90s.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna-
felt
early
really. I think it was almost too young to really like enjoy it or whatever, like comprehend it a bit.
It's a dex game.
I mean, the first one came out in '89, so I would have been 2.
Yes.
I think I'm just for the shoes because last time I had no idea what I was gonna do with the shoe.
This is fine.
I'm just gonna do the base of the shoe and that like
The
that
dark
part
oak.
as the whatever as the tan
I
or
definitely-
the
Sure, the brown color that you used
yeah,
previously.
like a brown color.
Yeah, I believe you used
Yeah,
this
I was like, it was on
because it was the reddish. Just give it a little shake before you start using it. That way you're making sure the pigment that actually gives you the color is mixed in with the medium that spreads it.
Angela,
Yes.
models wise, because I don't think you have an opinion rules wise.
Yeah.
Do you like the Fallout miniatures or Necromunda more?
Ooh.
Asks Tiki the Hut.
So. That's a difficult question because So I really like the Fallout miniatures. But I also
Thank you.
cannot deny. Oh, Luke, thank you for the $2 donation.
Thank you.
Please like and subscribe to both ladies' channels. I agree. Please like and subscribe to both of our channels. It helps support us. We appreciate you for it. It also gets you some fun entertainment. So thank you. Thank you so much for that, Luke. Okay, so we were talking about whether or not I liked Necromunda over Fallout more
Model wise.
model-wise.
Okay, if you need to talk out the thought process, tell me about the Necromunda.
So Necromunda is a skirmish game published by Games Workshop that is very much about gang warfare.
Okay.
You have in normal 40k you have pretty large
Oh
groups.
my
They're
god.
like a Batman gang.
Okay, no, they are literally
Actually,
a Batman.
say-
Yeah. They
Oh my
very
God.
much.
Okay. tell me that.
So Necromunda has a on a pure
Police.
on
Police
pure
gang.
aesthetic. Here,
They have police gangs too. Yeah.
I really like Necromunda because I think they get to go a little bit more wild with their character designs.
They seem pretty
Is
wild.
it
But
40K, or is it just
it's still 40k. Yeah,
It's one planet.
Yeah, Necromunda is a planet, and
Okay.
it's got basically it's a giant city planet. So it's kind of like Coruscant in
like a
in Star Wars, except that instead of it being like having a fairly large amount of nice stuff near the top, it's mostly crap, and it just gets slummier and slummier and slummier as you go down. And so I do really like the models in Necromunda a lot. I've painted some of them even as well, but I have also painted a fair number of Fallout miniatures, and I cannot deny how fun those miniatures are to paint. They suck to build though because they're resin, and I do not like gluing them together. I cannot tell you when I was working on, so they actually came out for the Fallout game. They actually have officially licensed the characters from the TV show.
Okay.
So they came out with a box set of the main cast. So it was Dogmeat, the Ghoul, and then the chick, and then the guy in
I love
Power
that.
Armor, whose names I can't remember now. Lucy, and what was the guy in Power Armor's name? I don't remember.
Maximus.
Maximus, thank you. So Maximus, Lucy, the Ghoul, and then Dogmeat. So I painted them all up
That's awesome.
for the channel and stuff, and they were really, really fun to paint. Loved painting them. Putting them together
Was hell.
was hell.
Oh no.
Because the pieces, like Maximus's arm fucking just kept falling off. I would barely touch it with a brush, and it just collapsed. And it was so annoying. So like, and because Necromunda's models are pure plastic, I can use my Tamiya glue and they go together fine.
so the resin is different.
Yeah, the resin is just, it's difficult, and I had to use normal super glue, and I like overdunked it, and it just caused problems. Are you okay?
Yeah, just sneeze.
Oh, okay. I was like, are you vomiting over there? What's going on?
No, keep holding in the sneeze.
Got it. And so I think I do love the Escher Gang girls. They are great.
On screen.
Yep. So those are the Eschers.
Ooh,
That's an
I
entire
love
female
them.
gang, and they have like mohawks and like bright
God, I
colors,
love
and
that.
it's so good.
That's so fun.
Yeah, they had a very middling video game that came out about 4 years ago. I don't
Got
recommend it, unfortunately.
Faction of Nuka World.
So I kind of have a hard time choosing because like I've seen a lot of really, really cool miniatures from the Fallout game. And I've painted a number of them too. I actually really like the way that they did, that they've been handling a lot of the robots. Because they've produced a lot of miniatures for like Mr. Fisto and probably not Mr. Fisto.
Mr. Fisto.
Sorry, he's the first one that I could think of the name of for that is that specific type of the round bot with all the arms.
Mr. Handy.
Mr. Handy, thank you.
Mr. Fisto.
Mr. Fisto's the one that bangs you in the video game if you don't know, Chad.
Yes, it is.
He's the best. He's my favorite, and I go visit him regularly.
Her New Vegas playthrough was mostly her banging as many NPCs as she could.
That is still the continued goal of my New Vegas playthrough. That will continue at some point. I'm just kind of waiting for the next series, the next season of Fallout to come out before I pick that back up.
There's some of the Nuka World.
I know they're great. I love the bots. Like I'm not as fond of the people as much because they're fiddly to glue together. I love painting them. I think they're fun. I think they get the armor really well done, and I've loved that about it. And I love the power armor that they've done in the Fallout game. But putting the human figures together sucks. And I prefer the robots.
Having recently been looking at the Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures,
Yes.
I really think they're just making the Fallout ones
Mm-hmm.
a little too busy. Like, that would be my cosmetic feedback, is I just feel like there are wrinkles upon wrinkles upon wrinkles.
So I actually think that's partially their paint job.
It might be, but I think that's their Brazil work, because I'm just looking at, like, sorry folks who can't see anything that we're looking at.
No, there is so much texture happening on them.
But it does look like a lot of texture.
It is, but like if you look at the games, like they're just mimicking the models in the game.
Fair.
That's
Like
true.
that's the thing, is like I agree with you. I don't necessarily argue that you're wrong in that
Yeah,
they're
I know like these bracers are from the game, but like aesthetically on a miniature, I'm like,
No,
They're not
they
really doing much for
They
me.
and well, and because these figures are here. I'm gonna go grab one of the Fallout miniatures really quick because I have them, and they're small, and I think that's where the texture problems.
Tiki the Hut also says, Angela, that the Nuka World boxes are now plastic.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god! Have they finally switched to plastic?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, I'll buy more. Oh.
Okay, thank God.
It's very good. I'm thinking I might, on the like handles, add a little like accent color over the brown that I did.
Sure.
Don't know what, but what do you think?
I like it. It's cute.
And I basically need like a bone color for the skull, and then she had like a bone necklace kind of thing.
We found our skeleton paint. It fell into a weird drawer, but we did find it.
And then I forgot I have a bag. I'm gonna do that now. And then the hair.
Okay, you're gonna.
Yeah, I don't know what to do for the hair. I mean, I feel like black seems pretty basic.
I don't know, but I think it'll look good.
I think it would look good.
You need help, Angela.
So there was this game that you found that you were showing me.
Yeah, burrows and badgers.
Oh yes, I know Burrows and Badgers. I've heard of it. I don't know like anything about it, but I've heard the name, and I think it's got
They look adorable.
they're like anthropomorphic characters, right?
They're like
Yeah.
little red wall dudes.
Yeah.
Is it? Is that by the same people that did? I can't remember the name of the game. There's a.
It's by Offspring.
Yes, but there's another RPG.
Oathsworn Miniatures.
No.
I'm reading what the company who made this game is. Don't tell me no.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
I'm on their website reading their names.
Oh, I understand. I'm sorry.
Just like no.
No. Okay. I'm trying to think of the other name of the game, not the company's name, because I don't know the company that made the game. There is another anthropomorphic RPG game that I feel like has been actually around for ages, because it was definitely available and had been around when I was working at Games of Berkeley. And people would come in occasionally ask for it, and it was a little bit harder to find because I feel like it was on like the indie RPG list at that point. Like I don't know. I can't remember what it's called for the life of me. Wait, is this game done by the same people who do Oathsworn? Like the board game?
No, the company that is making Burrows and Badgers is by Oathsworn Miniatures, which has no relation to the board game Oathsworn. Goddamn, it is confusing.
I see. Well, right, because Shadow... What is the company's name that did Oathsworn? It's like Shadow something. I should know this. I did a sponsorship video for them. Shadowborn, thank you. Shadowborn Games, that's what it was. Okay, that makes sense. There's too many repeating names.
There's a lot of shadow and
There's a lot of shadow and brimstone and fire and death. Kingdoms as well. There's so many kingdoms in board games. Here, I can turn this back on for you guys. There we go. And there's the miniatures back. I'm still just working on my own metallics. He's got my guy's got a lot of chains. Of chains.
Mine's more of a earthy,
Yes.
earth tone fighter,
Exactly. Mine's a big chunky armored dude.
But anyway, that
Oh yes, the cute one.
it's like, I don't know. I'm totally down for cute stuff. So
No,
it's very like Animal Crossing vibes a little bit meets. Well, just in the sense of like you get to be cute, like you can
Cute
have
critters.
like a bat faction
Little bats and toads.
and toads and stuff. I don't know.
You know what? You know what it
It's
kind of
very
reminds
cute.
me of? There's a board game. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it called Root. which is all anthropomorphic characters. It's an asymmetrical war game.
Oh, okay.
And meaning that each of the factions that you can play as play slightly differently from each other. So like some of them are
Radically different.
Radically differently. Some of them are very economy based. Some of them are very warlike and actually want to like do the combat elements. Some of them are very like territory gaining like oriented, etc. There's like a bunch of different options. But you get to play as like really cute little critters. That's what it looks like on the screen. There's a
oh, I've heard of this game.
yeah, it's by what's the company's name now off the top of my head? I don't remember. It's Leader Games.
It's not straight in front of me, so-
it's thank you. Leader Games. And the artists that they have for their games, because they've done a number of them. Like they've done a bunch of different variations of Root. Like it's got a bunch of expansions, but they also did a game called Vast, the Mystery Manor, which is like one of their first games. I love the artist. I love the artist who does the work for them. Vast is really cute because you're going into like a haunted mansion, but you are playing as the enemy characters in the mansion. So you're the villains, and you're trying to get rid of the heroes. So that one,
That's actually so fun.
I don't remember if we have that one.
Which one, sorry?
Vast. Do we have Vast?
Yes.
Okay. I know we have Oathsworn as well.
Yes. We also have something. I don't think we have Arcs, which is the one I want.
Oh, is that one of their newer ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the base one.
Oh, got it. Oh, by the way, these are some of the Fallout ones. But you see how like tiny they are in comparison
Oh
to
my
like
goodness. Yeah, she's
like
tiny.
like a even. Let me actually.
Because even like the Marvel Rival ones. Like,
Oh yeah, no, like even comparing to the Marvel Rivals, like she's super teeny. So I do like I get what you're saying where I do think they go too textured, but I also think they're partially just trying to mimic the in-world.
I get. That in that case, that's also a vault suit. When I'm looking at like the Raiders, though, that's what I'm talking.
Well, I mean, you can
and
even
I get it because the Raiders are covered in greebling, but it doesn't. Copying it verbatim 1-to-1 from the video game or the show does not necessarily a good miniature make.
I agree. I agree, and I think they can sometimes get a little busy. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, Mark. Lovely to have you here.
Root also has a full digital version.
Yeah, there's a full digital
There's a
version.
theme version.
It's one of the reasons I was asking you earlier, because when you mentioned that you wanted to like do games together, I don't think you can play Root cooperatively. I don't think.
No.
It's a competitive only.
Yeah, because like we were talking about, and I was like, so did she mean Minecraft? Did she mean Fortnite? Did she mean Total War? Did she mean Baldur's Gate? What did she mean by co-op?
Yeah, we were sitting there going, there's so many options of what she could have meant by co-op game.
I guess it was just more like because it's like I feel like YouTube is a little more your thing. So if we wanted to do like a YouTube,
I would love to. I would
of like what you feel is good for your channel.
That's fair.
Vibe.
We just like wanted to play video games.
But I would like to play video games also.
I'm down with that. Like honestly, I'd love to teach a Total War Warhammer, but I'm not going to push that because it's a little bit of a complicated game. It's not actually that complicated. I think for somebody who is not familiar, okay, let me ask you this.
Okay.
How many real-time strategies have you played?
Real-time strategy? Oh boy.
How many turn-based?
How many turn-based strategy have you?
I mean,
Do you know what the difference is?
You played I'll do this.
I mean, what do you consider?
What's the one where you make the village?
What is the one where you make the village?
It's like the first one was kind of.
I can't remember that one.
Okay, that's fair.
But I don't know. I mean,
okay,
Baldur's Gate.
that's why I was like, no, I don't think she means Warhammer.
I know she
Total
didn't.
War.
I know she didn't, but that's why I was more like, did she mean Baldur's Gate? Did she mean Minecraft? Did she mean
Have you played
Marvel Rivals? Like, that's.
Have you played Cult of the Lamb?
I have played Cult of the Lamb.
You know it's co-op now.
Oh, really? Ooh, that'd be fun.
I would
starve together. You know?
Oh yeah, we could play Don't Starve together, and then we could try not to starve. Have you played Don't Starve at all? Do you know that one?
I do know it though.
Okay.
I haven't played it though
It's
personally.
super cute. I was obsessed with it for like a solid year. But
I mean, I have Warhammer, so we could
We could teach her?
Punish her with
No, we could punish her.
Good.
Excellent.
Punish me.
Okay, he said it, not me. He said it, not me. I am not the one doing it. I am not the one doing it. No, I would.
Improving the
I
process.
think it's a fun game, and you don't have to fight the battles because I think the battles are the more
I
complicated.
don't think it's a good idea if she's not into the lore.
No, I agree. But it is the fantasy side of Warhammer, so if you're interested in like that kind of stuff, it might be fun with you. I can show you. We can show you some of it later. Just to give you an idea. Oh, Dark Tide would also be fun. If you how do you feel about shooters?
Yeah, so I've played. We played.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right. I forgot you guys played. We could play Vermintide.
yeah, we played Vermintide.
Okay, well then you'll probably enjoy Dark Tide then. I forgot we had talked about that last time.
I mean, I feel like I do good at that game up until a certain point, and then
Dude, I suck at it.
and then I start getting overwhelmed, and I'm like, I'm just getting surrounded.
That's me. That's me. We can. It'll be
Panic
great. It'll
together.
we'll panic together. We'll be like, I'm surrounded by everything.
But I'm definitely down to try the
Total
not
War?
fantasy version, and also
Oh,
Total
and
War.
yeah. I think we should maybe start with
I
like.
was joking about Total War.
I'm not joking about Total War. I want more ladies to play Total War
Okay. I will join your army.
Yes.
What faction do you like?
with. So I have been playing Slanesh, but I can really play anything. We would start you with Korn. Super.
No.
What? Why?
The reason I would not recommend Khorne, despite it being a very easy faction, is because she won't learn anything about the game.
Okay, fair. That's true. So
Listen, I'm
the
just
character I
here.
was going to have you start with
It's corn.
is a Lord of Korn. He
You're gonna have her play at Scarborough.
I was gonna have her play as Scarbrand.
Which is an easy, powerful thing, but it's literally you're a one demon wrecking machine. You don't really learn how to manage towns.
And that would be really fun for somebody's
That
first
would be.
playthrough
That would be.
who was not having to focus, like, because then she only has to focus on murder
Fine.
as opposed to stewardship.
So,
Stewardship.
Korn is like the war crazed god.
Okay. Got
If you've
it.
It's
ever
actually a new metal band that formed in the late 90s
Yes.
and really peaked during the MTV era.
But it's also.
but it's also it's
Known as Maze by the Native Americans. Don't give me
that was my flip off look. I'm not gonna raise my middle finger to you, but I'm raising my middle finger to you with my eyes. Corn
with an H.
with an H, KHORN.
E.
Corn.
With an E at the end.
Oh yeah, sorry, there's an E at the end. You're right. I'm sorry, I can't spell his name. It's not important.
Corn with an H and an E, of course.
Corn with an H and an E and a K. If you've ever heard anybody in any like Warhammer related thing scream "blood for the blood god" or "skulls for the skull throne," they're pledging their loyalty
It's
to Korn.
Got
They're
it.
referencing Korn. Basically, all
Got it.
Korn cares about is
blood.
getting more blood and having more skulls for him to sit his big fat ass on.
Perfect.
And he doesn't care once they can. That he doesn't like. It doesn't matter. It can be his own boys. It can be the boys that they're killing. As long as there are skulls, that makes him happy. And which is why Korn will never ever go away in the Warhammer verse, because he's just gonna always be around. Everybody's
There's just
so full of
there's
rage.
a lot of death and murder I'm hearing in the Warhammer world.
You're understanding the reason they call it Warhammer.
In Grim Darkness is the 41st millennium. There was only war.
Yes. But no, Scarbrand is really, so the reason I was recommending Scarbrand is because, so yeah, this is Scarbrand. You get to be a
Oh,
big
hell yeah.
fucking red demon boy
Hell yeah.
whose whole story is he got real uppity with Korn and thought he could overthrow him essentially, like, or be like bigger than him. He was like, and Korn was like, bitch, please, slapped him down, destroyed his wings so he can't fly anymore, and kind of made
And
him
gave him
stupid.
brain damage.
And gave him brain damage. And now he's just like, Father, love me. I need more skulls for you. And he's just trying to get the respect of Korn back because he basically got bitch slapped by daddy.
Oh.
And the fun thing about him is he is literally a one-man wrecking machine. You can completely build this character out to just go in and annihilate entire armies of the other faction if you end up like playing the battles, because you can auto resolve battles in this game. It's not something you have to do, but sometimes it's advantageous to do so, because occasionally the game will kill way more of your units than is really necessary, depending on like it's balancing is sometimes a little finicky. So sometimes you want to fight battles, but you don't really have to, and you can build yourself up to really never needing to fight battles if you don't want to. I rarely fight them because I'm not as good at the combat. Luke, thank you for the $2 donation, by the way, and you said I need to explain the 4 chaos gods to her. Okay.
You need to.
Okay, I need to.
It's
absolutely necessary. Okay, we've already got the rundown of Khorne. Khorne likes blood and skulls. He doesn't care where they come from. He just wants to sit on them and I guess bathe in the blood. I don't know what he's actually doing with the blood. I understand he's making a throne out of the skulls, but I don't know what he's actually doing with the blood.
Waterbed.
Oh, of course.
A blood waterbed.
A blood waterbed, so that he can.
Skulls get bumpy. He needs something soft.
He wants something a little softer to sleep on. Got it.
He can only sit on the throne for so long. He needs.
Oh, you're right. His ass would get sore after sitting on so many like uneven, rounded shapes. So Khorne likes blood. There is then Slanesh, which is my patron god. She is the goddess. Well, she's not really goddess. She's gender fluid. She is both called She Who Thirsts and the Prince of Pleasure. Nice. She was birthed by the space elves that exist in the universe because they got a little too horny.
Here's the entry of the whole textbook.
And started feeling a little too much sensation, and in doing so, they birthed themselves the Chaos God, which wiped out their species to a pretty extensive desire. That's my favorite, one of my favorite current ones that I'm playing. That's Nakari. He is a big single-breasted demon who seduces everybody.
Careful.
I am. Seduces everybody. Then there is Tzeentch, who is the father of time. He is the eldest
Prince of Lies.
Of the Chaos Gods, and he is the Prince of Lies. He is all about change. He's a newer the demon is not new, the unit that lord is new. But he has the bird boys in, if you ever see like bird creatures, like demon creatures. But he's the patron god of magic. He's all about magic.
He just has a thing for birds.
He's also about time manipulation. He is the lord of time.
Got it.
So he can change time. He can stop time. He's very powerful. And then the final of the gods, which is the one that I actually run the army for most often in the actual tabletop, is the plague god known as
I've
Papa
heard
Nurgle.
a lot about this guy.
Yes, so the plague god he's big, he's stinky, he has stolen, in one of the versions of his existence, because Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar both use the 4 chaos gods, exactly same names, etc.
Okay.
But they have various like changes to their origins, etc. One, I can't remember now which it is. Is it in 40k where Nurgle has captured the goddess of life and is keeping her in the garden, or is that in
that's in 40k, and I think there might be something like that in fantasy as well.
So
Shea is kept by Nurgle in 40k in his lab.
Yes. So there are a bunch of other gods in the world as well. It's just these are the chaos gods. And they're one of the elven gods, I believe it is the god of life. And so Nurgle captured this goddess, is keeping her in his lab where he experiments on her and uses her life-giving essence to create his own plagues. And see what kind of I'm sorry, yes, go ahead.
Minor correction.
Yes.
He keeps her in a beautiful bird's cage in a corner, and he creates all of his plagues in a giant pot in the middle of the room. It's very mythology-based.
Mm-hmm.
And he has the particular virulent soup. He will take it in a large ladle over to her in the cage and force-feed it upon her.
Yeah, see what it does.
Because she is the goddess of life, she's immortal. She will not die.
Okay.
So he can observe and check everything it will do to someone.
What's up?
There's an outfit for you.
Oh, this outfit?
Yes. No, there's some great inspiration in there for outfits for
And then if it works
Forgot.
appropriately upon her, he tips it out into a drain that then drains into our universe to spread all of his plagues to
Okay.
humanity.
Got
So
it.
that's Nurgle for you.
Wait, so why do I know Nurgle?
I keep thinking about it a lot.
Okay, I guess that's why.
Nurgle,
It's sort of like his aesthetic. It's kind of gross to me.
Yeah,
he's very goopy.
he gets pretty grossed out by like vomity imagery.
I feel like he's in a lot of 40k things. Like I think he's in Vermin or in
So-
whatever it's called.
Vermintide, Dark Side.
There was several years where Nurgle was the main chaos god that Games Workshop was really focusing on, ironically, just before the pandemic. And they still sort of maintain that even through it, but that's why in so many video games he's like Nurgle is the villain.
Hot lady.
Yes, so
Dark
you might.
elf.
I don't recommend this as being a
No,
starting
they're hard-
faction
they're hard
because they're a
faction.
difficult faction to run. But these are the Dark Elves, and the Dark Elves are lovely because they are your murder goths, like sadist
Yes.
Dark Elves. Like they're also a bit kinky because Bro here, Malekith, has a intimate relationship with his mother.
Oh well.
To be fair, this is his mom.
That's his mother.
Well.
So, like,
She's a worshiper of Slanesh, if you can't tell.
yeah, that's the part because it's like the Dark Elf was supposed to join the elves for everyone and fight chaos in the end, but it's like how are they not worshiping Slanesh?
So
Some of them.
some of them do, some of them don't.
So like, no, they
Oh.
retcon it. 'Cause I think I don't know about 40k, but did they worship Slanesh in 40k or
They
separate?
birthed Slanesh in
That they're,
40k.
like, kind of
No Eldar likes Slanesh in 40k because Slanesh basically eats their souls upon their death, and they don't like it very much.
They talk about it a
They-
lot in Kamara when you're in
Yeah,
Rogue
no, I
Trader.
remember that being like, yeah, they don't want to die because they're like.
Yeah, so what it is the Eldar hide themselves in the spirit stones that they wear on themselves, and then those stones are brought back to the
Oh,
craft
let me get you
world.
skeleton horse
and
so
are
you can
put
do the
together
bones.
in a-
That's where you're at, right?
Yeah, I could do the necklace,
Oh, okay.
maybe
I wanna talk over.
bone, like his like teeth or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I totally think that's a great call. You're fine.
We're streaming. I don't
Oh.
want to talk over.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting her started on some skeleton horde so that we can. I found it. It was in a drawer.
Yay.
I've been looking for it for like 2 weeks. I was like, I don't. And apparently, I have no other spare bottles in the house. I thought I had like a bazillion of them because I actually, when the pandemic hit, I stocked up on all of my main colors that I use
That's a good
for my
idea.
contrast because I wasn't sure how available they were going to be, etc. But I think I've run out completely of skeleton horde. So this is going to be a very thin bone color tone. You can add extra water to it if you want it to look thinner. The difference would be the age of the skull. So if you want it to appear as if she's had the skull for a really long time, I would say go thinner and do it lighter because a more bleached looking bone means that it's probably been around longer. It's been getting sun exposure.
Got it.
If you want it
Got
to
it.
go darker, that means it's probably fresher and it still has portions of like meaty bits potentially still, on there. These are the things you learn when
These
you
are
are
the
painting
things.
miniatures.
My cousin is very much a animals person, and they've been kind of getting into. I guess I would say taxidermy, but not like taxidermy in the sense of like stuffing an animal or whatever. It's more of like preserving the like skulls,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that, like the skeletons. And so anyway, so she was showing me some of her stuff that
Oh,
she
that's
was
so
doing,
cool.
and it actually looks amazing. I'm like, damn.
I have oh yes. Woo! Oh my gosh. Well, I just want to say very quickly, very exciting. We have 100 people watching us right now. That is fantastic. Thank you all for being here and hanging out with us as we paint some orcs. Lovely. Having a great
We're
time.
having a lot of nerd chat, and I
We
really
are.
appreciate
We
it.
are. That's what I hoped for.
I feel like I'm learning a lot about.
We're indoctrinating you into Warhammer 40k very hard. we will convince you to play the tabletop game here in the next 6 months.
Oh god.
We probably won't because I don't actually know the state of 40k right now, and I have not been playing because
I'm not up to date with the current.
I'm not up to date with the current rules, unfortunately. Like, GW has this problem where they will go through periods where they're constantly updating rules, they're constantly changing stuff, and I think we're like, okay, like you guys who have been a little bit more involved in the rules releases for GW recently. You guys tell me, do you think we're leaning towards a new edition already again? Because I mildly feel like we're moving towards that direction as soon as we wrap up this next round of codexes. Like, I really feel like we're gonna just jump straight into an 11th edition. Which I don't know if that's too early or not. I feel like, how long has 10th edition been out now? 2 years at least?
So
Yeah, I think it's been about 2 years. She now needs to know about the Emperor? Okay. The very brief description of the Emperor. He's
he's a lighthouse.
a lighthouse. And I mean that's the briefest description of the Emperor I can give. He is a lighthouse.
a very necessary lighthouse.
A very necessary lighthouse.
Do you agree with the statement?
Sure.
So, the Emperor of Mankind created the Primarchs,
Oh God, no.
who created all the Space Marines, which caused all the
Starting
problems.
from the
He's
beginning.
been like alive the whole time, like mankind,
Yeah, I think I remember you mentioned that a couple of times. It's like he's like,
and like steadily guiding us, and then
Yeah.
Mhm.
the space age or whatever happens, and he's like a huge like scientist atheist kind of vibe guy.
Yeah, he doesn't actually want people to like worship him or do anything like that. He's very actually anti all of that. But unfortunately, during the Horus Heresy, which is when a lot of his sons start to get uppity and start fighting amongst each other and cause a huge giant problem for like everybody. They accidentally well, I guess it's not accidentally for the Chaos guys, but the Emperor gets real injured. He gets real injured and he gets stuck on a giant golden throne, which you've probably, like, if you ever hear people talking about the Emperor,
It's his life support device.
it's his life
Yes.
support device.
yes.
He's a big ass skeleton sitting on a big ass golden throne, who's like decayed, but can psychically still talk to people because he's basically holding back chaos psychically, supposedly. That's what the Imperium.
So
claims.
much, so eloquently put.
Thank you. Listen, we're giving the very
I'm
basic.
getting the bare bones.
We're getting the bare bones who the Emperor is. He, in my personal opinion, he's the fifth Chaos God. He just hasn't really like.
Heresy.
It's not heresy.
That is like calling the Emperor the fifth Chaos God is by very definition heresy.
Wouldn't he be like what's the lore of it? Like the fourth?
Fifth.
He would be the fifth. No, because the Slash is the fourth. Technically, there's 5 already because there's like Malak whatever.
Wait,
it's not Malekith, but it's Malak something. I can't remember. There's a.
The tech one is not. It's a demigod.
No. I'm not talking about Vashtor.
Oh.
I'm not talking about Vashtor. I'm talking about the other chaos god that people like to reference that's like from old lore in Warhammer
Oh, we don't
40k.
that's been retconned.
Malice? Is that his name? What is the dude's name?
I don't know.
Chat, tell
It's
me.
been retconned out for decades.
Has it officially been retconned out?
There was never a fifth Chaos God as soon as I was in third.
Mala? I don't think that was right. Was that?
Malal? That is something.
I know nothing.
Basically, there was a random god that they sort of tried to like. They mentioned and kind of like led to believe that maybe would be the fifth chaos god.
Yeah, that's
but
it.
then,
Malal.
Malal? Okay, so Malal then. But ended up not actually being the fifth chaos god. But basically, they're pushing the Emperor, I think, towards eventually becoming the god of death, essentially. Like,
Got
the
it.
chaos god of death, essentially. And so... I don't know how to properly short-term describe the Emperor.
You feel like you're doing a good job.
The Emperor was a psychically perfect individual that existed through all of humanity, trying to lead it from the background, trying to get humanity to the point that it could evolve to be on par with him.
Mhm.
So not him as a god, but no, you guys can actually become this.
Yeah, he basically believed all humans had the potential he did to
Well, not all humans had the potential, but the human race had the potential through generations of his guidance breeding into what he believed. Let's not make him sound any better than the Bene Gesserit.
No, you're absolutely right. It was all about a very strict breeding process. But he kind of got fucked in the Horus Heresy, and things have gone to shit since then. And that's why 40k even like that portion of the universe or the narrative for the universe is even in the state that it is because of everything that happened in the Horus Heresy. Which is why actually talking about the Emperor and Space Marines is so fucking complicated, because there's like, I mean, I think we told you last time, there's like 50 books in this
Yeah.
series.
And I only have those.
And like that's our small collection of some of them, and that's not even like a quarter of the Horus Heresy novels that are out there. Let alone the stuff that's actually covering modernly what's going on in the lore, actually set in the 41st millennium, because there's an entire section of books that also covers that, like all the modern stuff. And so talking about like the Emperor in shorthand is not easy to do.
And the reason I call him a lighthouse is when he got seriously injured and put on life support, he's still on Earth as a giant psychic beacon that allows humans to actually like navigate warp travel. Because all their the reason the navigators, the way that I'm referring to in Rogue Trader, the reason the navigators behave the way they do is because what they do when they look through the warp is they look and find the Emperor shining in like hell. And go, okay, we're at this angle from the Emperor, this far away. That means we're here in space.
Got it.
And that's how they
I
triangulate.
think the
Interesting.
warp like is the Chaos Realm.
Yes.
And
Yes.
It's really convenient for, or maybe convenient for traveling compared to Lightspeed.
Okay.
And but if you don't have proper protections, you're like instantly fucked if you go into it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you need what's called a Geller field in order to get through the warp
And I
safely,
think-
and that fails
Yeah, and I
regularly.
think like it's like the only reason
Got
it happens is because of the Emperor. If he wasn't there, nothing, we would just be stuck.
Yeah.
Right.
No one would be able to navigate, basically. They have ships with engines, but no way to tell where they were going.
Yeah. It's all about navigation.
Which is why they can't allow the Emperor's body to die, so they feed it 1,000 psychers every day that are collected at a tithe.
From the planets in the galaxy, yeah.
Which is like not easy to collect, or maybe it is in that scale, but it's like one cycle per planet is like the average or some shit like that.
Yeah,
That's
they,
the decent ones. They can normally get a fair number of like, this one's like vaguely psychic. Throw him on the black ship, he'll be popcorn.
he'll be a snack, a light snack for the Emperor. But yeah,
And we
he's
now have Gene Stealer cults in the chat.
Oh no! Oh, are we worshiping the four-armed Emperor?
Yes.
So the four-armed Emperor
Oh, God.
is just a reference to the hive mind creature that controls the Tyranids. So it's the big big
Ah.
mega one that no one's actually seen of these guys
Okay.
that actually controls them all. Essentially that creature sends out like essentially boarding parties to go infiltrate various planets to suss out like what the food is like, because these guys will eat anything. They'll just basically they vomit on a planet and then suck that back all up, and that's how they digest it all.
And yes, Event Horizon was the film about the Warp Gordon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what
If you've
it
ever
felt like.
watched Event Horizon, the movie, it's basically
Basically the war.
That engine went into the warp.
yeah, that engine went into the warp and came back out and brought the warp with it.
That's what
And,
happens to people
and
who
that's
go there.
literally what happens to people in Warhammer 40k, like when they go to the warp and stuff. So it's a pretty terrifying place. There's some Primarchs running around in there just hanging out.
The fun thing about the insect race is
Yes.
because they are meant to simulate locusts on a galactic scale.
Yes.
So they eat planets, but they don't really know where planets are. They don't have radar, they don't have anything like that.
Okay.
So what they do is they shoot out spore clouds, which are basically tiny, like 1 or 2 alien-sized pods, hoping to hit something near some stars it can see.
Yep.
Yeah.
They get there, if they find a planet that has life on it, they land, and then they create what Angela was talking about, which is a cult
Mm-hmm.
around themselves, around the four-armed emperor.
They
Okay.
infiltrate the humans, like as
Yeah.
fakes or something like that.
Okay.
They breed with them.
Yeah, it's actually
Okay.
it's an entire breeding process.
Yeah.
There's actually I think an official canon novel.
Yeah.
Where a gene stealer cult specifically ends up on a planet where Sisters of Battle are, and they have an entire like the battle nuns, and they have an
Oh my gosh.
entire like they convert the sisters into a gene stealer cult, and like it's a whole thing.
Nice.
So like it's an intense like process and stuff, but they refer to help convince people. They refer to the big bug as the four-armed emperor because all of these humans already worship the emperor, and they're just twisting it a little bit to make it be
Got
like,
it.
no, we're believing in the true emperor.
Right, you're
Four-armed.
calling the false emperor.
You're exactly. That is exactly the whole point.
Because
And
what happens is once they've bred enough and gone through enough generations, they do a weird sci-fi thing where the early generations look more human, and then the more generations you go, they actually get more and more alien-like until they literally grow extra arms.
Mhm.
Okay.
But when you have enough of them together, they then emit a psychic pulse that calls the mother fleet.
Okay.
So that's their evolutionary behavior. Is they
Got it.
send these guys down, they create the cult, which then stages like a big revolt on the planet that weakens the defenders on that planet.
so that they can then be consumed easier by all the big bugs that are going to come in and just eat everybody.
Yep.
And those bugs then consume the planet, basically jump into a giant vat of like, I think it's essentially the big hive ship's like stomach acid, dissolve, get sucked back up via these like big, I guess, intestine tubes.
Proboscis.
Proboscis, thank you. Like a big proboscis that comes down and sucks it all back up. And then they just get reformed because they all just sort of form out of goo. Like all out of the primordial soup, really, is what it is.
Yeah, it's a big loop. They're a hive mind, so they're all kind of one creature anyway.
Right.
So
Yeah,
they
it's the biomass.
yeah, so they eat all the leaves, they eat all the trees, they even eat anything that has carbon-based anything.
Yep.
And then
Got
once
it.
everything is full of everything,
Exactly, slurp.
the big ships, like she said, puke their stomach acid into the former lakes and oceans of the planet. All of the aliens then dive into the acid to die, and then the big bugs suck it all up and then leave a rock that's just dead.
Yep, just a big
Oh.
barren rocks in the middle of the space, and yeah.
That
No.
was like kind of energy like inefficient.
What's what flies do? It's how flies eat.
Oh well, like on that scale of like waiting for a planet to consume. But maybe you're right. 'Cause maybe
Well, they just idle out in space, I think, until
Yeah.
they get a ping and then they
Mhm.
come in. There's also, like, in an eldritch horror sense, it's supposed to be like if this is, like, if the galaxy is, like, this size, the size of my fist or something, the fleet that's actually coming is supposed to be, like, this massive
Right.
thing that we've only gotten, like, the fingertip.
Yeah, that's
we're
like
gonna-
that's the concept is like this thing's supposed to be so freakishly massive that the stuff that is actually like penetrated into our universe has simply just been the barest fingertips, like the tips of the tentacles of the creature, basically.
Yeah, I heard this like concept. I think my brother's really in 40k. So
Nice.
And I think he was saying like, so I wouldn't know if you guys heard of this, but it's like outside of our galaxy,
Yep.
there's like a massive Tyranid thing
Yep.
fighting a massive orc thing, and whoever's gonna win is just gonna clean up the galaxy. But they're just always
There's that is
Sharing
the
each
prevailing theory. I know that like Chaos Cultist and I have talked about our theory for how they might end up. I think Games Workshop, when it comes to their game system and lore, is hitting a point where they are going to have to scrap a huge amount of stuff because I think it's just been going on for so long.
Got it.
And they did a similar thing when they went from Warhammer's Fantasy Battles, which is their old fantasy version of the game, into Age of Sigmar, which is the modern thing. And basically what they had happen in Fantasy Battles is they basically had the planet explode. They just were like, it blew up! Magic!
Chaos won!
Chaos won, and the planet blew up. But don't
Try to
worry,
best.
everybody. Some of the souls of your favorite characters were saved by Sigmar. Bosom, like pressed against his bosom, and he traveled through space with them until he hit the mortal realms, and he dumped everybody out. It was a stupid story. I don't think a lot of people fully enjoyed it. I don't know how much they've retconned all of that, but I do know that he literally was supposed to have protected them against his bosom to like
I love
carry
that.
them to a
great
new.
bosom.
His
Yeah,
great bosom.
It's great bosom.
He's like basically the emperor, but in a different way.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's like dead like a god or something now.
yeah.
Or
He's
descended,
dead and a
but
god
he's not
now.
Like a living. I don't think he's like a living.
No, he's around. He could show up as a person and go hello if he wanted to. He just
Okay.
hangs out in his workshop in heaven, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
so-
so like
I don't think he like runs mankind.
no, he does not run mankind. He was a mortal who then basically ascended
Okay.
He,
and
conquered
became a
the world
god.
or something.
And yeah, and
Actually, the original Sigmar was a warrior who was protecting the tribes of humans against the orc invasion coming from the Spinal Mountains to the east. Sorry.
he's referenced actually in Vermintide quite regularly, if I remember, in the
Okay.
early game. I don't know how much he's
Okay.
referenced in the old one, but you like I know you're in some of the missions you were specifically making a trip to, like in the campaign, I believe, and this is what I remember from a while ago because it's been a long time, but I remember we were specifically trekking to a specific Sigmar shrine to pick something up. So he is mentioned in Old World, but he was a little bit more like less around, and I think he's actually more around now.
So yeah, in Old World, he is this is...
It's not super important. Like,
I'm sorry for the...
There's
like,
gonna
oh,
be a quiz at the end. This is this.
the point is, the whole point of bringing this up is they destroyed the planet and reset the game system to create Age of Sigmar. A lot of people... They rebooted the universe to create this new system. I think they're going to end up having to do... I think they want to do the same thing with 40k. And one of the theories that we have talked about, and I would love to know chat's like thoughts on this, is that yes, the Hive Fleet is on its way. It's in a separate universe coming into our own. We have a theory that some way with the combination of what the Eldar are doing with the Emperor and humanity and everything, they're going to all work together to basically put the entire the entire galaxy into the warp all at once for a split second as the Hive Fleet passes by. So they miss it.
Warp connection.
It's because they doesn't have warp connection. He can't travel through the warp. They have to travel through space normally. That's why it's taking them so long to get here. That's why they're sending these fleets out to prep things. It's because it takes them fucking forever to travel because they can't actually travel through the warp.
Okay.
So I think that what Games Workshop might do, and I think this could be potentially fun, because it could really throw some things up, and I think it might make more sense because it's already a universe. It's already a galaxy, right? It's a huge space. It's not a single fucking planet suddenly turned into these giant limitless realms. It's a problem. I have a big problem with like how Age of Sigmar came to exist. I don't actually have a problem with it existing now. I just don't like how it evolved.
The summary, and I was thinking about this actually because I was talking to you about it last time you were here, is they took a universe that was based on Lord of the Rings and sort of old school D&D and blew it up to make a Warcraft inspired fantasy universe.
It's even higher fantasy.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
where the idea of a dwarf riding a zeppelin with guns akimbo is not unusual, whereas in Warhammer Fantasy, no, they don't really do that.
Like, there were definitely still firearms, and yes, dwarves had them, but they weren't like riding blimps. They weren't in an airship type thing yet. And there's nothing
they
wrong.
They did have some airships.
They did, but it wasn't all of them. Like, that's the problem. Is like
I think it's more like you said, Lord of the Rings, like war based. Like these are armies going to war, and it's
Got
like,
it.
Like Lord of the Rings is like almost realistic, like. Oh, rally the men. Go
yes,
fight.
yeah. You have
magical sword will say like we're like no, you're just like we gotta get the boys going, go kill or whatever, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like everybody in Age of Sigmar is sort of like there are civilians, but I feel like up until like 2 years ago they didn't really mention them much.
Because they were trying to sell the new miniatures, which were the superhero armored guys.
Right, which were all the superhero armored guys and stuff. So it was like, and I think GW is going to end up potentially doing something like that to 40k, and by basically bringing the galaxy into the warp, they're going to open the warp up to being in a galaxy, and I think that is going to be how they get the same like, oh dear God, everything has changed and everything can be different.
You can shock the universe and be like, oh, when this thing went into the warp, its location completely changed, and they teleported it to the other side of the galaxy because
you
the
could
warp
have
is
something,
weird.
yeah, you could have some things not reappear all of this, because like there are humans who were alive in the Horus Heresy who got dragged into the warp and then have been spit back out 10,000 years later.
Got it.
Yeah,
so like, and so like you like time in the warp does not happen the same way. So like while it may have only happened for a split second in our world, in our existence, the galaxy could be in the warp for 2 years, for 50 years, for 100 years, for all we know, like in that split second before it's shot back out, which could change a whole bunch of things, which I think could open up Games Workshop to doing a lot of interesting potential things with the 40k universe, and also diversifying, adding new armies potentially, just changing some stuff up, changing allegiances, and like writing new things. But I just don't know if how much that's actually gonna, like, I don't know if they're actually gonna do that, but that's my theory. That's kind of where I feel like I almost want them to do, if they're gonna do a world-ending, galaxy-ending destruction type thing, like they did with Age of Sigmar, and having to reboot. Because at this point, as somebody who's played the games since 5th edition, which was 20 plus years ago,
No, you started
Or
playing
15 years
you
ago?
started playing about 17 years.
17 years ago. Okay, so like, who started playing almost 20 years ago. There's been some versions of the game that I've really enjoyed, and there's like the modern one though. I just don't like where the rules have gone. I feel like they're just so bogged down, and I feel like the narrative needs a refresh in order for them to fix that, because I think they're just iterating constantly on their existing problems, and that's my issue with it. We should probably take a break.
That's good.
Yeah, we're actually, oh my god, we're at perfect timing for the break.
Since
actually,
we just rambled about 40k.
yeah, since we just
sorry
rambled
about
for 40k for like 20-30 minutes or so. We'll get to the orcs on the way back, since that's what we're actually working on today, and we can talk about our good green boys. Hello to everybody who's in chat. We are going to take a brief 5-minute break or so. We're going to 10-minute break. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We're going to stretch our legs. We're going to bio. We're going to get some new drinks and everything, and we'll be back in 10 minutes at the top of the hour, 3 o'clock. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye. For now. It's all
moving.
wonky.
Exactly. Hello, everybody. Did you turn us back on?
I was trying to get you. I was hoping you'd keep talking about Warhammer stuff.
Oh,
and complaining about Space Marines.
Well, okay. Specifically, what is this? Is this a Reaver or something? I don't remember what. And what are the stupid Space Marines with the frickin' antennas, the 2 double antennas on their backpacks that I just absolutely loathe? What is this?
There's also 3. So
Was it 3?
no, I'm saying it is 3 now.
Oh, it's 3. Yes, that's absolutely fine. But like this Space Marine, who I've painted, his is my test Marine. Ignore his ridiculous.
Now that I think about it, I think you're right.
But yeah, I think this is a Reaver, and I hate these because of their stupid antennas. They're terrible. All right, let me take a look at what you've done.
Look at my guy. Look at my
Oh my
chick.
gosh, let me look. Let me show chat what you've done.
Yeah,
You've done a great
you're
job.
right, Angela. It's a Reaver.
Perfect. I'm so smart. I should probably turn on the actual screen where this is showing.
Oh, actually, nope. William is right. It's an infiltrator.
Oh, an infiltrator. Thank you.
Because the Reaper, they're wearing the same type of armor, but the backpack that you hate so much
Is the infiltrator
on the
one?
infiltrator.
Okay.
They're both just wearing the lighter.
Scout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
So you've done an amazing job on this. Really,
you.
really like what we're doing. So I'm gonna do one suggestion. You kind of notice how your metallics are a little flat looking and they're a little overly shiny. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not really how real metallics look in real life,
Right.
right? So one of the things that you can do to help tone that back, but still make it look amazing,
It's like a wash or something.
you're gonna apply a wash. So
Okay.
what I'm gonna suggest is on your silvers, doing the Nuln Oil, which is a black wash.
Okay.
But on your warmer color tones, I would recommend one of 2 colors. You can either use Seraphim Sepia, which is a lighter brown color tone,
Okay.
and it's going to give it a little bit of like a pale sort of yellow-brown tint to it, like very, very subtle, but it'll be a brown tint.
Okay.
You could also, where's it? That's not the right one. That's not the right one. That's not the right one. Damn it. Yeah. Okay. Or you could do this one, which is what I usually do on anything that's gold, brassy, or that kind of thing. This is called Reichland's Flesh Shade. You can also use this on human flesh tones. It actually gives you a nice sort of tanned look, especially on like basic Caucasian flesh
it.
tones and everything. It also helps you build into like a really nice, both Asian as well as Mexican flesh tone as well. You can layer it and get it a little darker and then build up some highlights. It's really nice stuff. It's got a red tint to it, so it's a brown with a red hue to it,
Okay.
as opposed to a brown with a little bit of a yellow hue to it. So you can do, I would recommend these maybe for your brassier color tones,
Yeah.
and then this for
Purple
your
silver.
silvers. Now you can still use this on your brassies. That is totally fine. I just find that the warmer color palette tends to pop the warmth, that warm hue of your
Got it.
brassier metallics better. Whereas this, because it's black, is going to have a cooler tint to it.
Right.
Hence why I'm recommending it on the silvers, because it tends to lean a little more blue, a little bit more cool.
Okay. Cool.
Angela, would
Yes.
you be kind enough, because we have some folks who I'm sure were not with us at the beginning, would you please do an introduction for our guests?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Hello to everybody who has just joined us. Thank you for being here. I'm Angela, and today I am joined by Shea. This is the Shy Goth Exit,
Yeah.
right? Okay. I always butcher saying your like handle online because the exit, like
Exit,
it's the
yeah.
X in it, like it actually throws me the fuck off. ShyGoth, she is amazing. You can find her on Twitch as well as OnlyFans and Fansly, as well as Patreon.
Yes.
Yes, so there should be a link to her link tree in the video description. You can find all of her socials there and follow her. She is
Yay.
wonderful. She is delightful, and I am corrupting her into painting miniatures
It's
with me.
true.
And I've been absolutely bombarding her with 40k lore today. Thanks mostly to chat encouraging it, and me having an unfiltered like mouth that just can't shut up, and I like to hear myself talk too much. So I just went off on the Chaos Gods and the Emperor of Mankind, and we even started talking about like Gene Stealer cults and the kiki things that they sometimes do. It's Sisters of Battle. It's fun. It's very
All the fun
casual, very casual painting stream.
Exactly.
But we're working on some stuff, and Shea is about to start putting some washes on her metallics, which I think is something I suggested to her because, in my personal opinion, metallics just raw out of the bottle are just too in your face.
Well, and
They're
also
too like it just.
for an orc, it's like they're dirty.
Yeah, it's too clean looking, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. This is gonna beautifully darken that really nicely. So the reason, just to give you an example, this is the brassy color that you use with Reikland's over top of it.
Okay.
So this will have a little bit of that Reikland's flesh shade over top of it.
Okay.
So it's very subtle. This is a very thin. You might remember it because we used a little bit of it on your bandages. We actually used the Seraphim Sepia for your bandages. So it's that really thin color.
Okay.
So depending on, like, it'll come on really, really, like, very wet.
Okay.
Like, even more wet than the contrast that you were working with. So
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about, like, thinning this necessarily if you don't want to, but if you find it's getting too dark, just add a tiny dip of water, and you can fix that right up. But I would recommend probably the Reikland's for your golds.
I'll go for it. I trust your...
There you go. And that'll also help emphasize... I'd probably get a little bit more, because you might want to...
Get more from here.
Yeah, because what you're wanting to do is you want to... The point of a wash is to further do kind of what contrast has already been showing you that it can do, where it's settling into the recesses. It's giving you intentionally shadows.
Right.
That's like the main objective, is to create shadows for you. And so sometimes when you have these bigger grooves, you might want to put it in a little heavier so that it pools a bit more
in the groove.
In the groove, because as it dries, it actually like doesn't leave as dark of a mark as you might think it is. Like if it looks really heavy in there, it actually dries a lot like lighter than it is. So you can feel free to go a little heavier if you think it's being like, if you don't feel like you're getting enough shadow in your metallics.
Got it.
I think I'm actually almost ready to go to the same step. I need to do one thing with actually, where's the dark oak? I want to go ahead and do his belt, because he has this like big chunky belt on his loincloth, I guess. And it needs color.
Chonky belt.
Chonky belt. And I love this red tone from this dark oak flesh.
Yeah, I like the red that you picked for his loincloth.
Yeah, the ball's red. It's a really nice color.
It's like so bright.
Mm-hmm.
Bright and shiny.
I find it really funny because that color tone, before I put the wash over top of it, that Carroburg Crimson wash, it's so bright, but that's the color that they officially have for Blood Angels. Because Ball is the planet that the Blood Angels came from.
Okay.
Although I guess there is Blood Angels red as well, so I guess they have two reds. But they have like this very pinky red, and then a very like ketchupy red is the other way that I would describe it. Two very conflicting red color tones.
I may not know what's going on with the 40k discussion, but you know, I'm here for the good time.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Well, the nice thing is like you've played enough like Vermintide and a couple other things that I feel like it kind of like, the thing is like it kind of was repeated in a bunch of different fantasy genres. It's not like it's
That's fair.
entirely new concept. So I feel like it's easy enough to like jump into outside of just suddenly there's a bazillion naming like specific names. I know that chat was also wanting us to talk a little bit about the orcs, so I will
Yeah, definitely do that.
regale you one last time at least with a little bit about the orcs. So the orcs are actually fungus in Warhammer 40k. They're not actually a mammal or anything. They are literally mushrooms.
She laments this greatly.
I do. And so they can spawn anywhere. I think we talked a little bit about this last time. We do.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit. So the main thing to know about the orcs, because I think we even talked a little bit about their origin, how they were developed by the space lizards to fight the space skeletons.
Which is honestly like when you're talking about like icebergs, that's like 3 levels beneath the surface. We don't need to be there.
Exactly. So that's really all we need to say about specifically that. The cool thing about the orcs, because we talked a little bit about how their belief system is what actually powers them, and they have a very strong belief in colors, in how they work. Because we were talking about how like red makes them go faster, if you're purple,
Right.
you're stealthy, etc. One of the other fun things about the orcs is they have a deity of their own called Gork and Mork. And Gork and Mork are very fun because they're essentially interchangeable. One is cunning but brutal, and the other is brutal but cunning.
Those are the main differences.
That's the main difference.
And there have been wars.
Yep, so
fought
many
over this.
wars fought over which is better, Gork or Mork, and which is better, cunning but brutal, or brutal but cunning. Like which trait should come first is very important to the orcs, and they've had many a tussle over it, or tussle rather is what I wanted to say. But it's actually very, very fun. Like they are the hooligans of the universe in Warhammer 40k, and they will never stop being the hooligans. And I think, like that's why your friend who was talking about like the Tyranids and the orcs having like a war, and whichever one wins is going to be the one that ultimately wipes out. Yes, because the orcs, you can't really get rid of them. Like that's why I think people believe that, and I completely am down with that concept myself too. Is because like of all of the factions in the 40k universe that I think will be around for eternity, it will be the Tyranids and the orcs for sure, because you just can't not expunge them fully. Like if there is some sort of spore, like if an orc died on a planet, you're fucked. There will be dozens more orcs before you know it, and you can't, like, once they're there, you just kind of can't get rid of them without just destroying the planet, which I mean, the Imperium is all about exterminatus. They want to purge everything. But if they keep doing that to every single planet that has ever had an orc on it, I think they're going to run out of planets because all of them have orcs on them. Like even Terra at this point, I'm sure they would eventually. They'd have to kill all the planets. And what exterminatus means is kind of like what the Tyranids do to the planet. They kill everything.
Right.
Like it's not a like, oh, we're gonna let the humans live. We're just gonna like gas the planet to get rid of like the Xeno. It's like, no, we're gonna virus bomb the planet and everything is dying. Because that's the only way to like really hardcore get rid of them.
Dang orcs.
Exactly. And then of course they're in space, and I'm pretty sure the spores can just survive in space. So they can just drift in space, like a space Hulk could get destroyed that has a bunch of orcs on it. They explode, turn into a bunch of spores. Those spores drift out in space, eventually land on a planet, and then I'm pretty sure they still repopulate exactly as normal. Like, I'm pretty sure they just, like, the spores are dormant until they hit, like, breathable air or something. I don't really know how it works exactly, but... Sci-fi
reasons.
Exactly, sci-fi shenanigans.
Do they use the chaos travel?
Orcs?
No, I don't. Do they go? Oh, that's right. They do go into the war.
Yeah, they don't.
The
have,
only
yeah, their defense is demons don't want to fuck with that.
But just like it's too much of a task.
Yep.
There's literally
Orcs like it when they come in.
Yeah, like Khorne actually has, I think, an entire novel, if I'm not mistaken, that is about a Wa, like an orc Wa, going to war against a Khorne demon, like, incursion on a planet. It lasting for so long that Khorne's like, I like this. This is fun. I'm gonna keep resurrecting you guys, and this battle will happen indefinitely. So these guys are stuck in a loop. Every time they die, they get reincarnated. And, like, these orcs just... And they're having the best time. Because the orcs don't care. They're like, we just get to crump and fight forever? Sick. Because that's all they care about. Like, they don't... They're all about just destroying things. And it's a very grand time for them. And it's actually, like, I thought it was a really fun story and concept. Just because, like, they seem like the perfect pair to face off. Because it's just, like, they both like to fight. And Khorne will constantly get new skulls because it's basically like, I don't think it's so much as like it's a Groundhog Day type thing. It's more of they die and then they literally they remember everything. It's like they're quite happy with it. Yeah, they're just constantly being reformed in new bodies. Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Exactly.
The reason that Khorne doesn't corrupt the orcs who might go hard. They're Khorne orcs are the chaos orcs. Not canonically, there used to be like 40 years ago, but they got rid of it.
Okay.
It didn't really make sense.
No, because Khorne, while he is murder, blood, skulls, he's kind of anger and hatred and malice.
Mm-hmm.
Orcs don't feel that when they take your head. They're having a hootin' time.
Yeah, so they can't actually be like corrupted by Khorne because they don't actually
get angry. So they
They're
can't.
like enjoying it.
Yeah, they don't hate anything. Like literally, we talked about it last time. Actually, we talked briefly about Gazgal Thraka
Yep.
and his relationship with the human who Chaos killed. And now because of that, Thraka's like, I'm gonna fuck Chaos over because you took my plaything away. Like my best bud, my best friend who I have been fighting with for like 30 years or something ridiculous. Like this entire man's human existence. You've now snatched him from me and I can no longer have that joy of having this conflict because they kept having a back and forth. Like it was a great, like Thraka, as far as he was concerned, I think he was best friends with,
Lovers. Yeah.
Love
he was essentially lovers with,
But like
Yarick.
Batman and Joker kind of like.
Yeah,
Joker
like a
likes
Batman
the-
Joker.
Exactly.
the game more than the winning or whatever.
Exactly. I think it was kind of that relationship, and because of that, he got like that's like I think the angriest an orc has actually been, which is just fun. Doing some little rivets on
This
this.
is the famous artwork of Gazgal Thraka.
Yeah, so that's like they're in constant conflict. So the fun thing is that claw, the red claw that Yarick is wearing, he chopped off Thraka.
Oh my god.
Because Thraka took his.
Because Thraka took his arm, he was like, fine, I'm gonna take your arm and I'm gonna put it on my arm so that I can now fight you with your own arm.
It's
like,
you're
and
gonna
this is
take-
why,
you're gonna
like-
take my arm, I'm gonna take your arm.
Exactly.
Imagine just being like a dude in this like killing machine's like, oh, I'm gonna go fucking fight him again. It's just like some guy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Maybe he's like advanced or whatever, but like not like a space marine or something.
Here's the
Nope,
difference
he's just a
between
basic
wash
dude.
and a sword versus-
What sword is this one?
Yeah, that has the wash on it.
It's like I don't know, like dirty's the right word, but you know what I mean? But like
It has more.
It antiques it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It makes it look worn, like it's actually been
Yeah, yeah.
used. Yep. That is, like, washes are, there are some painters who really don't like them because they like to do shadows a bit more tediously, in my personal opinion, and what I do think
That's
it's
the choice of words for it. Meticulously. might be a more
meticulously. Fine, meticulously.
even-handed phrase.
You're right. It's more meticulously. They like to physically paint the shadows in. I like to let the wash handle the shadows for me and just sort of... I'm lazy. And I don't want to hand paint all of my shadows, so I let the wash do the work for me.
Thank you for subscribing, Riley Sharker.
Thank you. Lovely to have you as a part of the channel. Nice. I'll look forward to seeing the video. What models, AOS or 40k? These are actually not 40k or Age of Sigmar. They are from the 5th edition compatible box set that you can get from Steamforged Games. They do the what are they officially called? I'm like blanking. Oh, Epic Encounters. That's what it's called. So this is from an Epic Encounter. It is specifically the Orc King, I believe, is like, I don't remember what the full title of it is, but it's something Orc King or Orc King something. But it's very, very nice. Have I tried the panel liner from Tamiya? No, I have not tried it, but I do have it. What I want to try is the new AK markers. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen or heard or seen people talking about the AK, like, paint markers, but I want to try them.
This is the thing I was recommending for your diorama.
Oh, yes, I didn't end up doing this. I could do it later.
I thought before your event.
Oh, yeah, before the main event, I could update it and do it. Because I do kind of want to do more
There's that,
weather.
there's a few others here too. There's also that's gore, but I think we have some other like AK stuff floating around.
It's downstairs in the garage, I think, with the other, because
Alcohol-based
yeah,
stuff.
alcohol-based stuff. Yeah,
This
I
is
think so.
water-based, so.
So yeah, I think so. But yeah,
Well, no, actually, this is highly flammable, so.
am I highly flammable?
So maybe not.
Maybe it's a little bit.
Yeah, no, this is ethanol.
Okay.
So yeah, we should probably put it down there.
Yeah, we probably should.
It's fine.
It's fine. It might explode if we put it in heat, but it's cool. What? That's what flammable?
I know, it's still a small vial of ethanol. It's not going to do anything. I'm pretty sure there's got, like, the glues are probably more explosive over here.
Honestly, this is also danger, extremely flammable,
Yeah.
vapor, harmful.
Well,
We did smell it.
we
and
did
it was,
smell it.
and
It felt harmful.
That's because it is. It's a little bit of a toxic chemical. But...
By the way, Angela, this was the Yark I grew up with.
Yes, I love that Yark with his
Oh
silly
my
lobster
goodness.
claws.
Yes, two
Very
fingers.
silly.
2 fingers.
With the banner portraying the battle where he took that lobster claw from the orc on his back.
Yes.
So proud of himself.
Because, you know, that's also a situation where you know people are going to look at you and go, where did you get that lobster claw? And they don't have to ask. They just look at the banner and
It's
they
true.
know.
He's like, oh, you cut it off.
Thank you, Tiki Hut.
For the gifted membership, Red DJ Arum. Hopefully I said that right. Hopefully I broke that
I
down.
would say
correctly.
red charm.
Rajarum? Okay. Rajarum?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Hobby Night Legion. It's lovely to have you join us. And
He is
Tiki
right.
the Hut, thank you.
The last point is correct.
What?
They want to hear Shea speak, so.
Oh, me?
We're tired of listening to Angela ramble about bullshit.
Well, I don't really know much about this universe. to
It's
speak
fine.
on.
You know what we can talk about? We can talk about Animal Crossing.
No. No, I haven't played Animal Crossing in so long.
All right,
Or
well,
Oblivion or something.
Oh,
we could-
yeah, Oblivion.
We could talk a little bit. We could also talk D&D because I know you're currently playing Curse of Strahd, right?
True. It's true.
One of my all-time favorite campaigns.
Have you done that campaign? Like,
I've started that campaign like 3 times and not
Really?
finished it. Yeah.
oh my goodness.
Mostly because
COVID?
Oh.
mostly because each time, one of the times was COVID. One of the other times was the group of friends we were playing with. I think people moved, actually, is what happened. And
That's
like, so
rough.
we weren't able to continue it for that reason. And like slash work stuff was getting in the way for some people. So we ended up ending that one. And then I think we started one like way back in the day when it was like the old version of it back in college. Did we do it then too? Or was it just the 2?
It was just the 2. We might have done something that was inspired by the setting.
You know what I think it might have been is I think you ran the intro like house thing for a game day.
I did.
Yes, that's what it was. So I've started it twice and I've played the intro 3 times because I played in that game for the game day because we were running it. We were like, this is a fun like sort of contained haunted house scenario with
That makes
the
sense.
opening like with the 2 kids and stuff like
Yeah.
and so we were like, let's run that for like a one-shot type adventure because somebody actually at the store had done a full papercraft version of the house so that it had like we could move our miniatures around it and like interact
Oh,
with
that's
it.
so cute.
So it was
I
really
love
cool. And
that.
he was really into that. So that was really fun. But that's my main experience. But you're currently playing in it, right? What are you playing?
What am I playing?
Yeah, like what class?
So I'm a Death Domain cleric,
Nice.
and admittedly, just because of the way the party is set up, I just don't do anything like fighting wise.
You cast Spirit Guardian.
I have Spirit Guardian, which I have deemed my lawnmower.
Yes, I understand this concept.
But other than that, it's like half the time I'll cast Bless on everyone, or maybe I'll attempt to fight and then I'll miss.
Well, I mean, you're a cleric, so fighting isn't necessary. I mean, I know death can.
Heal.
I do heal, I do Bless, I do Spirit Guardian, that's about it.
Do you turn undead?
Oh. I technically have Turn Undead. I haven't really used it.
Well, it's in conflict with Spirit Guardian, but you want to be next to them.
Yeah, right. It's just kind of like, if I want the things to come near me, because then they'll get damaged by Spirit Guardian.
Got it.
Because it's just like
I
it's
see.
Like,
So you're focusing more on your party than is focusing more on purging everything rather than escaping everything is the direction you guys are going, which is totally valid. I think we've
purge, yeah.
Yeah, we have done a lot of purging for sure.
got it. That makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, I feel like that's kind of the approach you have to take with Strahd, personally. I feel like we ended up purging mostly too.
Yeah.
Like, you just gotta kill everything.
The things we're not proud of. You know?
Oh yeah.
Tiki the Hut asked, do you prefer Curse of Strahd or Ghosts of Saltmarsh? And do old ladies
Oh
selling
my gosh.
pots outside of a windmill bring up any emotions.
So, Ghost of Saltmarsh, I don't really have any experience with, admittedly. So, I would say 4, just because I know Curse of Strahd, I guess I would say I prefer it, but I don't know for sure, I guess, how to answer that one. But yeah, the old lady selling pies. Oh my gosh. And so, okay, our DM.
Tell me drama.
So our DM did this really funny thing where it was kind of like, I think for the first time that we received the deed to the windmill, which is a windmill that the hags who were selling the pies live in.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a random. I think he was just like picking from like a random
It
move.
might be in the game where the windmill's owned by the family of the 2 girls in the house.
Yes, but
I'm not sure
But-
if he added that or not.
I don't know if he added it to that one. But there was like a couple other times where he just keeps every time, especially with him.
What?
But
Yeah.
you go say it. You say it.
I got a reward for something, and so he rolled it, and it was like an estate. So he gave me another deed for the windmill. And so it became a thing where like a big reward. I think I found like 3 so far.
Yeah, you have
Oh,
one.
So
no.
he gave these like deeds or bullshit things.
I
They're
think
like,
he
"Let's
keeps
do the windmill you own."
making it to the windmill that he already owns. And so we're just like, oh, it's a timeshare. Everyone wants to live
Yeah,
in this
I need to
windmill.
like merge all the deeds together.
That's amazing.
We still haven't cleared out the ladies though.
No, because we went. So
We're still there.
So when we went there originally to go clear them out, like we were like, oh, we are not ready for this encounter. So we did as best as we could to escape from that situation.
Stole their frogs. And
We
I was gonna
did
say,
steal the frogs.
Did the GM introduce all 3 of them at the same time, or did you have a chance against one of them?
There
That's-
was
yeah.
one, but then it was like,
We were doing good and it fled to the other one.
but it
and we were
fled,
like,
Yeah, they-
but
"No,
it
we're not
fled
gonna
to
do
the
more."
other ones.
Yeah,
and
the
we
problem
were
is,
like-
yeah, they're much better together.
Yeah, no. It
They
was-
want to flee to each other.
Yeah, and so we were like, well, we're just gonna grab these frogs that we were talking to and just escape now.
Goodbye, ladies. You enjoy your windmill
um,
that I'm letting you stay in because I own the deed to it.
yeah, I don't play any musical instruments. There's some other ones here.
College.
Oh, did I go to college? I did go to college. I did not finish college. I went to college because I thought it was something that I was supposed to do, and I kind of just picked a major that I thought I was like, it wasn't like something I was passionate about. It was just like, oh, I need to get a job in this field because I don't know. It wasn't like a passion.
You
reason.
weren't like jumping to go and be like, I really want to do X, so I need to go to college to do X.
Right.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Exactly. And so ultimately I ended up not finishing my degree because I didn't have any passion for it.
That's fair.
So
Oh shit.
What happened?
Oh, my paint was still wet.
no.
It's fine. Not a big deal.
Oh, you could have been like me and instead gone 6 figures into debt for an art degree.
Woo!
I see. The thing is, I almost like would have. I think it's like if I chose what I want, I would have picked maybe a more artsy type degree or experimented more on that side. But it was always like, you're gonna fail at life if you get an art degree. You need to get an engineering degree or a science degree, something that has value.
Yeah.
So.
Well, screw you to all the people that said you couldn't make it with an art degree because I'm right here. No, I get that completely.
Yeah, so I, and obviously it's like, I think if I went back in time and actually had like, in the sense of like, felt like I could stand up for myself, I would have picked something that I was interested in.
More interested in. That
Like-
makes sense.
Like more artsy, basically.
That makes sense to me.
But you live and you learn, and
Well, and the nice thing is you can still do something artsy now. You don't even need a
Exactly.
college degree to do it.
Yeah, Angela, what was your college degree in? For those who may not know in chat.
Sequential art, aka comic books. I'm definitely doing something with that, aren't I?
I mean, kind of.
I kind
though.
of am. I'm at least doing art, but it's just not. It's not the same kind of art, which is not a problem. I want to be very clear. Not
Very few
complaining.
people who get art degrees,
Not complaining.
if they do have art jobs, are in the thing they studied.
Yeah, it's very true.
That is true.
What are you working on next? Where do you think you're at? You
Well,
got the
I
hair
kinda-
left, right?
I have the hair left. I kind of hate what I do with the boots, but I think they are what they are.
What do you hate about them? I don't get it. They look fine. Like it looks
It's
good.
just very muddled together, and that's fine. They're boots, you know.
Well,
they're muddy.
here's the nice
you know?
thing. We can put a little bit of texture paint on here. No. I like legitimately, we'll get to the basing, and you can actually put tufts around it, and you can kind of hide
Exactly.
them
You can
anyways.
just hide the boots.
Yeah, you just
Hide the
like
boots a little bit.
I put tufts around feet all the time. Not sometimes I hide the feet because I don't like the way that they looked or they got like kind of messed up or whatever. But mostly just because people step on grass all the time, like if they're out and
Fair.
about. So like it makes kind of sense. So we'll get you some tufting and stuff. In fact, you just have the hair left,
I
right?
basically have the hair. I mean,
We also have the base.
Yes. Well, that's why I was like, well, I might have her put some of her like a texture paint down so it can start to dry while she works on the hair. So I'm gonna let me pull out something that I think you're gonna have a lot of fun with, because I personally, basing is one of my favorite things to do because I find it very easy. It's very like you can be very like loose with it and it's fine. Just...
Villain Armageddon dust.
Yeah, I think so. Do you want to put your orc on a dark like base with like a muddy base, or would you rather put them on like sort of a like dirt
More
like-
deserty or more wet highlands?
yeah, deserty or wet highlands?
oh boy, it's a What do you think would like look good with my current color scheme?
Let's go Armageddon dust, because we can make that darker if she wants to, but we
Okay.
can keep it light if she also wants
Okay.
to.
Because admittedly, I'm like, I don't know what's gonna look good with my current coloring I have
I
going
think
on.
the sandy color tones I think are gonna be fine for you. So I'm gonna grab you.
Hey, do we have the sticks? Or are they in the bathroom?
No, I think they're. I'm gonna get her I'm just gonna give her a cheap brush.
Ooh, the cheek brush.
I actually find that doing it. No, not the front. These kids. Okay, so the paint you're about to use is going to be unlike any other paint you've worked with so far.
Okay.
It's going to be thick. It's gonna be a
Hey, yeah.
thick
AF.
thick AF.
But it's intentional because it has a
There's
powder
still enough in
medium.
that I have another one I'll prep in case.
Okay. It's got a medium in it that literally is like a dirt. So
oh,
you
it's
see
like
it?
creating it's like creating
Yeah.
the
So
texture.
you're literally going to be putting dirt on this base.
Whoa.
So it's going to dry very pale, but we can put some washes over top, darken it to make it
Okay.
look more like dirt, and then we can put some like grass tufts on it to make it look a little bit more prairie if you want, to make it look a little bit more foresty. We have options.
Got it.
So you can use this brush.
okay.
I want you to just press, like, smoosh it around.
Just
Get a feel for what it feels
You
like
need
to
more
move it
than
around. So you see how it's kind of goopy.
It
It's
is
a little
goopy.
grainy, and it's gonna cling to your brush if you keep touching it. Like you'll pick it back up. You see how you're like picking
Yeah.
this? That's fine.
Okay.
That's okay because you want it to be a little chunky. So you're just gonna get like a whole bunch onto the palette here, and then you're gonna take a big clump of it, and you're just gonna
No, not me. I don't.
flop, like put it on there, and then you're just gonna use the brush, and you can add a little bit of water if you want. It'll help allow it, make it a little bit more fluid, spread it around. So you can go thick, it'll take a little longer to dry, or you can thin it down
Okay.
and really go smooth.
Got it.
But the nice thing is once the moisture evaporates out of it, it's going to create
Like a
a
real,
lovely,
like a dirt texture.
Exactly. I'm trying to find not the same stuff, but this texture here that you're seeing
Yeah.
is from a texture like material like this.
Ooh.
Don't worry if you get it onto the miniature while it is still dry. You can just saturate your miniature with a little, like your brush with water, and wash it off.
Okay.
You will
Got
have to
it.
clean your brush a few times to really get it fully clean, but you can basically kind of wash it off like dirt.
Got it. Well, that was very cool. The texture you did on that other one.
Yeah, this like I like the this is with one called Mordant Earth. It's a black,
Oh, I'm
like it
sorry.
dries black.
I'm just moving it around like
I'm
shading
chasing.
it.
I'm chasing.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
You had a little accident, guys. Don't let him know.
No, it's true. It got too excited. But yeah, it's called Mordant Earth. It's just a black version, basically. But I like this one. I use this one actually all the time because it's so pale, I can turn it into a much darker, like harder dirt looking effect, or I can leave it very light and make it more sandy looking. I just find it a little bit easier to work with than any of the other ones. I'm not at that step yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and
Well, you take your time. You do what
oh,
you
well,
do.
I want to get the paint drying, so I'm going to go ahead and still do it, but I'm going to use this old layer brush. Just so that mine's drying, because I'm going to do the same texture.
I feel like this is so thick.
It's supposed to be. Like, genuinely, it is supposed to be.
I'm just like, oh god. How do I make shapes with this?
One of the things that you can do is just like haphazardly sort of dab your brush around, because then it kind of gives you the impression of like people have been walking around, the dirt's been like moved, and then you're not having to worry like about specific textures or shapes or anything like that. You're just kind of creating a generalized, it's been treaded on. And the reason I like to use the brush is because you can sort of gently, like, I'm gonna show you on mine, and I'm sure you've done a little bit of this yourself already, but you can kind of just smush it,
Like push it in
like next to their feet, and then just, you know, that's all you gotta do. And you can go thin, you can go thick. It's really not an issue. The thinner you go, the faster it'll dry, which means the quicker you can get to tufting. So there is always that if you want to do a little thinner. But tufting is like, working on the bases is actually one of my favorite things, because it really brings the model together. Like, having a finished, completed base can really just make the miniature be like, oh, it's really like, it's complete. It's cohesive. There's nothing left on it. When people like, and there's nothing wrong with this, it's just my personal preference. I personally am like, if I'm gonna paint a miniature, I want to definitely make sure I'm doing the base, because if I don't paint the base, I just feel like it feels unfinished. There are people who just completely don't do anything with the base.
The base is just like there to be there. It's not like, for some people.
Yeah, exactly, and that's fine, but it's just not my personal. Like, I really enjoy the basing process.
Like making them feel like they're in an environment.
Exactly, because I feel like it makes them like in their own little scene. It gives them. I like narratives in my games, and I think because adding a base creates a narrative of a locale and like what this person or what this, you know, orc is doing, just satisfies me more. But some people are just like, I hate basing. It sucks. It's fine. You can do that. I'm gonna base all my things. That's why people.
Like,
that's why companies make those pre-done ones.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to. If you don't like basing, if you're like, I find that really boring or tedious or just dull to do, or I'm not good at it, like, or I don't feel confident at it, you can just buy the ready-made ones and move on, and it's really cool stuff. Oops, I left the little tiny chunk unpainted.
I know you have like a fat skirt.
I do.
Blocking.
It is. There we go. There we go.
The true test of basing any Warhammer miniature is getting that space between the loincloth and the ground without touching the part you're not trying to paint.
The nice thing is, though, like I said, because this texture paint is so thick and it takes a while to dry, I have found that if I've touched a loincloth tip or something, with the texture paint, I just rinse my brush completely, make sure that I get all the texture paint that's currently on it off, and then I just go back in with like a slightly overly damp brush and go boop, 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 and basically wet it. And then and then go back in and suck it all away. And it's usually, like, very rarely will I get a stain of any kind.
Well, it's just, he's marching in the mud. It's flapping up on his skirt.
Exactly. Totally ruined my shadow there. No oil.
Oh my gosh, okay, I need to, like, stop squinting at it for a sec.
Yeah, no, give your eyes a break for a moment. You're gonna, like, stare at it too hard.
I'm just, like, noticing. I'm like, okay, I'm really been squinting at it.
It happens. It's because you're getting into the like, oh, I'm getting into what I'm doing, and now I'm being anal about what I'm doing.
I kind of. I mean,
That's
I'm
it, what
definitely
happens?
noticing what I missed last time, like painting wise, like little crevices
Mm-hmm.
and stuff that I missed that I didn't notice last time.
No, it happens, and it's not a big deal, honestly. Like that's one of the things about painting is you sort of figure that out as you go.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I like the texture. The base.
Right? The texture's coming out nice. So once it's dry, it'll be a slightly lighter, and you can either just go straight from that into putting some tufts on, or you can do a very thin wash of Seraphim Sepia is usually what I do. Let that settle in. You can also, oh, let me show you actually.
Sorry.
I've used the colored ones before, and they're
Ooh,
fun.
Shane looks What's the plan for the hair?
I don't know. I guess I was thinking like black. I feel like it's kind of orcish, and it'll kind of match my vibe. I think. I feel like black hair. What do you guys think? Should I have a different? Should I go crazy with my hair color? There it goes.
You could do black. You could also do what was that? Dark Angel's green. Remember we talked about doing that really dark
That's
green.
right, the dark green.
Right here, I got it. So you could do this, which is like a
That's right.
like almost like
Yeah.
if you thin it, it goes, but it's quite a dark green. So you
It
could
is a
always
very
do this
dark
if you
green.
want.
That'd be kind of fun. Dark green.
But also, I think black would work fine. I think going darker would definitely be my recommendation rather than going pale because
I
her
agree.
flesh tone is so light, and a lot of her like
No, she's like a
bandages
little light.
are also pale
Yeah.
as well. So I think having a little bit of a dark pop will draw some attention, especially to her face. I
Yeah.
also really like how you're wash dried on your helmet. That looks really good. It really popped those
Right?
ridges.
It looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think the swords turned out really cool too.
Yes, yeah, it brought out all of that texture and everything. Like I like what it's done on my ball and
Oh,
chain
hell
because
yeah.
like all that sort of hammered metal effect. It's picked it up, and that's personally why I like washes. Some people will create the same effect
But like themselves.
with opaques, with like just
Yeah.
doing it by hand and mixing colors instead of like.
That seems
And
brutal.
I just don't have the patience for that. Like power to anybody that does it. Kudos to anybody that does it. But I just personally
I feel like
don't have the patience.
You would have to find painting to be a very meditative process to be so detailed as to like do that kind of really detailed work.
I would only go that far. I have painted shadows only on busts. Like when I'm working on a larger like a close up of like a character's like
Mhm.
face or something like that. Like
Okay.
like there's
Yeah,
the
I
orc
could
in
see
the
that.
other room, which
Yeah.
I did do a little bit of. Actually, you know what? I take it back. I've never painted specific shadows. I've painted specific highlights.
But not shadow.
But not shadows. Because even on that orc, I'm thinking about it, and I did what's called flat chop in the community. It's technically it's a French art technique called grisaille, which is basically doing a monochromatic painting style.
It's a pre.
It's basically a pre-highlight. So it's actually what we did a little bit on this. It's the same concept where we had the dark color first, and then we built up to highlight colors so that we can then put additional
right.
like saturated colors
When you were
on
making
top.
the base.
when we're
colors.
doing the priming and everything. So a grisaille is like it's a painting technique from like this Renaissance period, I think, or something like that. I don't remember specifically, but in it like 2-3 years ago in the community for miniature painters, it got adapted, and for ease, people called it slap chop because the concept is I'm gonna slap some colors onto this and be done. Like it's a
Okay.
speed painting technique.
Got it.
And so by pre-highlighting and pre-shading your model starting with the dark gray and then working up to the whites, you're allowing all those contrast colors to do their work really well, and you
Right.
just can slap those contrast colors on and be done and get it done in like an hour or 2
Yeah.
hours or like however your speed is, but it's generally a lot faster than doing the more traditional painting method. And I don't remember now why I talked about grisaille. Why did I start to bring this up?
Someone in chat.
Was it someone in chat?
Someone in chat was describing Brazil. That's what Luke was describing.
Oh, well, is that what... I don't think... Was it... Did I see what Luke was talking about? Was that what it was?
I don't know.
I don't remember why I brought this up. It was relevant for something, but I don't remember now.
It might come back.
It'll come back to me. So yeah, I would either use that one, or if you wanted to, because you're working on a thin
that's
strand,
true.
you could go to your thinner brush if you
My
want.
teeny brush.
But yeah, this is already pre-shook, so you can.
It's fun. I get to turn around and watch you be confused.
Yay! I'm like, what? That's me all the time. I'll get off on a tangent. Like, chat will get me off on a tangent, and I'll be like, why was I talking about this? There was a point, and now I don't remember, and it seems irrelevant now.
And you hate QT Cinderella.
What do you mean? Does she do that all the time?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I don't like her because she reminds me of me.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Like, I don't like her because I'm like, I relate to this woman too much, and I don't know if I would be able to stand being around somebody who's like me.
That's so fair.
It's a very common woman thing to do, okay? Like, back me up, please.
Yes. You're like, I don't need to be reminded of my flaws.
I don't need to be reminded of my personal flaws. Truth.
You don't have any.
Yeah, please.
Have you done any? So you haven't done really any recent D&D campaigns or anything like that?
Sadly, no. The last that I played was just before the pandemic hit, which was the Curse of Strahd
5
campaign,
years
like
ago.
5 years ago.
Okay.
We have not. The closest thing that I've gotten to a D&D campaign has been jumping into Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
Like, that is
nice.
the closest. I mean, I guess technically playing Oblivion has also given me a little bit
Yeah,
of
it kind of has that vibe a little bit. Yeah.
I'm at least role playing it in my not fucked up version that I'm doing live for chat.
It's not screwed up anymore, I thought.
No, it is. My other game. Well, no, my other game still has Oblivion gates. They pop back up. I don't know what's going on. So for some reason, you know how normally when you're playing Oblivion, the Oblivion gates aren't actually supposed to spawn until you go to Kitbashing?
Yes.
Well, mine spawned immediately.
Yeah.
I started the game with Oblivion gates. I was heading toward Wayne and Pyrie to go talk to Joffrey, and there was a fucking Oblivion gate on the path off to the side.
I had the same experience.
I restarted, fresh, fully, like, first, I of course did the classic thing everybody does, of saving directly before you exit the gate, so that if you want to restart your character, you can just immediately redo it and not have to go through the tutorial, right?
Right.
So I did that, restarted a game. Was like, maybe something just happened. Or whatever. Maybe I triggered something accidentally and it spawned. Went and checked immediately, headed up towards Joffrey. There was an Oblivion gate. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start a fresh game from scratch, go through the whole tutorial again. It's fine. I like listening to Patrick Stewart talk, and it's fine. I restart games all the time. That's like literally my jam. It's what I literally love to do in Oblivion. My classic game to do that in. So I did it, got back out, immediately went for Joffrey again. There was a fucking Oblivion game. Like, okay, my game is... I think I would have to uninstall the game fully from my computer, delete it, and then reinstall it to potentially fix this problem. So I just said, fuck it. And I just left it. So in both my games, they're doing that. But at least in my, my private game, I'm role-playing as a character. Whereas in, my normal game, I'm being a YouTuber dicking around.
That's fun, though.
Being like, I must join the Dark Brotherhood. I mean, which is kind of my...
Isn't that role?
That's my jam in every... No, in my actual role-playing one, I have not explicitly, I haven't completed the arena with the intention of, activating, the Dark Brotherhood quest by getting that. Although that didn't work for me either! You know how you are able to kill the Grey Prince in the arena, and that counts as a murder?
Oh.
Yeah, so you can kill the Grey Prince in the arena.
If you do the quest, excuse me.
Yeah, so
Okay.
if you do the Grey Prince's quest to find out his origin,
Okay.
and you find out his origin, spoiler, if
No, I remember.
He's a
I
vampire.
remember.
15 years ago. Right?
Yeah.
spoiler from a game 15 years old, yes, exactly. He's half vampire, he's half orc, half vampire, how uncouth. And he's real upset about it, so he's like, please murder me. And so I did that as per you're supposed to. And normally you can trigger the Dark Brotherhood by killing the Grey Prince because it counts for whatever reason as a murder. I killed the Grey Prince in my live game for chat, and
Didn't count as a murder.
no, no murder. So I had to go kill a random random person on the side of the street. I was like, I'm sorry, person who just lost their home in Kitbashing. I think I went back to the Kitbashing area and I was like, well, I know there's a bunch of guys wandering around outside that little camp where they're all sad that they don't have a home anymore. I'm just gonna off-put them. So I told you I was being a YouTuber, being a dick.
Hey, it's the arena champion.
Yeah, hey, it's the arena champion. Dead. I was polite and I made sure that my adoring fan who was following me around was off and away so that he
Why
could not.
didn't you murder the adoring fan?
Because then how am I going to have somebody walk into my house, or every time I walk into my house, greet me with Azura, Azura, Azura?
Oh, it's my
Azura, by Azura, by Azura. It's the grand champion. I need that dialogue every time I walk into my castle.
You're like, I need him.
I parked him out, and with one of the DLCs that's included in the remaster, you can go and save like Battlehorn Castle or something, which is right outside of Coral and Wayne and Priory and stuff. You just keep going up the path.
Okay.
There's a castle up there that you can get for free to just live in. You have to buy all the furnishing to like fancy it up. But it's like a little minor like quest thing where you end up just re-outfitting and bringing this castle to glory again for the Battlehorn guys, who I think are from Skyrim or Morrowind or something. They're not originally from Cyrodiil. They're from one of the other ones.
It sounds like a Skyrim family.
I don't know if it was. What is?
Or that sounds like the battle.
But it's not Battleborns and they're not Nords. But it's somewhere. It's like
Vaughn says Slanesh.
Slanesh indeed.
Slanesh.
Slanesh indeed.
Just Slanesh.
It's appropriate. We're Slanesh driven.
I imagine the dental bills.
Dude, he's got insane teeth.
He
though.
does actually have insane
They're-
teeth.
They wouldn't be anything. Vampires have great teeth, and orcs just grow new teeth.
They do have a lot of. They just have a lot of teeth.
But they
Yeah.
grow new ones. I think orcs do just grow infinite teeth like sharks. So
Is that in
Oh, is that
Skyrim or
Yeah.
in the Elder Scrolls universe though, or is that a Warhammer one? Because I know in Warhammer they use teeth as currency.
It is a
So
Warhammer thing.
yeah, I was like, I think that's a Warhammer because they're spores.
In,
Because their teeth aren't actually teeth; they're mushrooms in their mouth.
Elden Ring or whatever, Elden Scrolls, they're elves or whatever. They're elves.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. I think in the same way, because kind of like Lord of the Rings, where like they're
yeah,
fallen
there's
elves.
Oh,
Yeah, I think there are subspecies of elves that have
okay.
like got either fallen or corrupted or something like that. I can't remember specifically.
I think
Okay.
all the races were like just made. They might have just been like
Born, yeah, they're just
like
they
the
exist.
god just kind of like started making races
Yeah.
for fun or whatever.
Yeah, I think that might be it.
For
'Cause
the
I don't-
puns.
for the funs of it.
But so like vampirism is a disease. It's
Yes.
not a racial trait.
Correct.
So like, what is he?
I don't know.
Is he Blade? Like how did this
He's-
work?
he
Like,
is-
I
Blade.
think,
Yeah,
he's supposed to be Blade.
Cause he's like half orc, half some whatever his dad is. Dad's like a
His dad is human. He's a human vampire. He is a human who got turned into a vampire.
And his
Because when you-
mother is an orc.
and his mother is an orc.
Yeah.
Because you can go like when you go and complete his quest, you actually you get to kill his father.
Well, yeah, I
But, like,
just did like 2 days ago.
Yeah, he's like mad because he got his mother trapped the father in his castle when she found out he was a vampire, because she was like, "Oh God, my child and I are in danger now," and like freaked out. And so she basically like locked him in his own castle. He thought he could get out, but it turns out he couldn't. He went mad from hunger because like no one else was going in there because he was like in the inner chambers. So I think he could, like, I think he might have even spawned some additional vampires because there's definitely other vampires that fought in that fort when I went into it, or the castle or whatever that you go into to
Mhm.
find him. But he himself is in a private chamber that is locked that you can only open if you have the Grey Prince's key that his
Yeah.
mother gave to him upon her death, which was like a year or two ago. And he never went because of his very busy schedule. His very busy trade
It is
regimen.
very busy. It is very busy.
It was across the map.
It was not across the map. It was up the road past Coral.
It might have been across the map.
I mean, it's
It's
fine.
like
It's
the
like,
West Coast.
yeah, I thought so too. I thought it was more on the
No,
coast side.
I apologize. It's past Kvatch. I remember specifically
Yeah,
because
past
I
Kvatch.
avoided it. Which is again, it's
It's near the
out.
coast.
It's out the road. You go out the Imperial City,
He
you go
doesn't-
around it,
he
and you
doesn't
walk up
have
a road. It's a
fast
single
travel.
road.
He has to rent a horse or walk.
I don't fast travel. I
Like,
use my
Have the
horse.
money for it. He's a champion.
He definitely should have the money for it. He's the champion.
He should have the money for it.
He also should have an adoring fan who could possibly carry him. Who knows?
Also, they should like exploit this where like vampires should have mortal children because he's like clearly so powerful.
Yes, exactly. I feel like, and
They have a superior like I don't know army or whatever the fuck.
exactly.
Bodyguard or something.
You understand.
So the Wadi's Haderach will be a part orc, part vampire.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That's exactly what's happening.
I'm pulling up the map to see how far west that place
It's
is.
It's west.
it's west, but it's on a fucking straight path on the fucking map.
But
I
like,
remember.
Okay, but
The
like,
man's busy!
he is busy. Okay,
Swinging his sword at a mannequin.
okay, but imagine you live in that time frame.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm imagining I live in
You cannot fast travel. Horses are really expensive. You gotta walk. You have to have
It's
enough
like that area,
food.
roughly.
You gotta walk it. That's just so much.
He has the money though.
Wait, it's near the coast.
It's so far.
It's okay, but there is literally a visible motherfucking path. Through another city where he can stop. Where he
It's
could
true.
stop.
It's
And then he
true.
goes up here. He could
He couldn't.
have maybe helped Kitbashing, being the
I'm
Army.
gonna say, like, okay, no,
And
keep
he
in mind,
got there.
keep in mind, he's got to go from the Imperial Arena, right? He's got to go through the Arboretum. How many people are going to stop the Grand Champion in the Arboretum, be in frame? They want to see you, not me.
Okay. The point is that he could have easily put a foot on, cloaked himself up.
He's a pressure.
He could. He should be
Yeah.
pressed to. For sure.
Yeah, exactly. See, he could have. That's exactly. I think he should have done a press
He
tour.
should have done a press
He
tour.
should have gone along that road. He could have done some
They
fame
made
there.
their revenue from ticket sales. It's still the territory days, damn it.
Okay, well, they should change things up. Also, doesn't each major city in the regions have an arena? Like, this is the territory. He should travel that territory. He should go to the various cities and perform, slaying their local beasts.
You're welcome, Jeff.
Bless you, cameraman.
Yes, but I completely keep forgetting. Like, you see this unpainted bit of
I
grass?
do.
Like, and I keep wanting to go
You
to
keep
it, and I
getting distracted.
keep forgetting.
So I forget how it works. You have to someone then sleep in a
Uh,
room with no one else in it.
Just a bed.
Yeah, you have to sleep in a bed that Lucian Lachance deems secure.
AK any bed.
Any bed.
Okay.
You can
I feel like
literally
I
be-
have murdered, but I haven't been talked to. But I'm always sleeping in public or whatever. Like
If you're only resting, it doesn't count. You have to like activate like a bed roll on the ground or something.
I don't know if he comes with you in a bedroll. I
thought
think
he did.
he might, but I don't know. They may have changed that. All I know is that like when I went to my castle, to my private giant ass bedroom, and I was like,
You're like,
I'm gonna
I'm
give him a.
ready. I'm ready for him to come to me at night.
Okay, so to be fair, Lucian Lachance's voice was legitimately one of my childhood crushes, and I love that character. So yes, I absolutely was like, I'm gonna set up a private chamber for him to walk into. What was lovely is Sithis and the Night Mother, being so wonderful that they are, told him apparently when he was done to just go stand in a corner in my room. He just didn't move because I followed him. You know how he like disappears and he goes invisible or whatever. He
Yeah.
has a chameleon cloak thing. I normally follow him to like be like. Because he doesn't disappear, like his character doesn't disappear, or his model doesn't disappear until he actually leaves the door, and then you can't follow him anymore. I'm pretty sure he like snaps away. But for some reason, when you're in the castle, he will be like, "I will see you later." And he'll walk away, he'll go invisible, and then he just walks into a corner and stands there.
Just wait.
And just waiting.
Move.
And so
See
I don't move, you can't see me. So my headcanon was, because this was like after he gave me my first task to go like kill Rufio in whatever the Ill Omen Inn or whatever, like that first murder that you're supposed to do for them to solidify yourself as a true Black Hand member or Dark Brotherhood member. So I went and killed Rufio. My headcanon was that Lucian was just chilling in my castle. He's like, I know she's gonna do this, and I know she's gonna do it fast, so I'm just gonna wait here until
I'm
he
going
comes
to
back.
stay here.
And then I did. I immediately went and did it. Came back to my castle, like fast traveled. The only time I fast travel is if I've been to a place already. I
Yeah.
actually walk everywhere because
Once, at least.
at least once, because I am obsessive about wanting to pick up fucking plants. all
That's
the
why
time.
I'm amazed your acrobatics is only 16.
I don't jump while I'm walking. Who does that? I don't do that in normal.
Everyone!
Real life does that.
Okay.
Excuse me for role
Well,
playing.
you know what? This is too hostile. I gotta leave, okay? I gotta leave.
I think his athletics just went up.
You know, I do think I
Acrobatics.
heard the charm. Yeah,
Yeah,
The athletics and acrobatics went up because he was sort of running and leaning.
No, admittedly, I like. It's basically anything that has any sort of incline. I'll just like
Once you gotta
bam
keep it
jump
Yes.
the whole time. But for the walking, I will forget to jump.
I
and
know
so-
everybody, like Luke, actually in my chat constantly. We're not gonna rim the base yet, Luke. We have to put the tufting on and everything. Hold on, we'll get there. But no, like I like Luke will tell me in chat when I'm playing Oblivion. He's like, Angela, crouch and jump all the time. You should constantly be crouching and jumping at the same time. And I'm like, I don't want to power level that way. There's also apparently a cheat to get your lockpick up like insanely, like your security.
Oh,
and things like
really?
that. Yeah, if you go to any lock and you go to the
Any
last
tumbler.
one, any tumbler. Sorry, if you go to any tumbler and you go to the last one on the like, it doesn't matter if it's an easy, like I guess you don't want to do it with a very easy because it's only one. But if it's like an easy, hard or like the
Right.
super difficult ones, you go to the last one, you up it and secure it, and then you just keep pressing enter with your lockpick below that section. It just keeps leveling you up.
Oh.
I thought something. I didn't understand what it meant. I thought it was the way to unlock things.
No, it's literally an
So if you find a
exploit to
very
get
hard lock, you push the 5th pin up, and then you just activate the 5th up pin until, because it gives you XP based on which pin it is.
Yeah, so if you go, so if you're on a very hard lock and there's 5 of them bumped down, if you go to that 5th one and you do it, you'll just like
Okay.
massively up your security skill.
The Daedra artifact, the skeleton key, is
Mhm.
like a little too powerful.
Yep.
It never breaks and it gives you like 40 security.
Mhm.
You just keep spamming auto.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's just like that should never existed. Like,
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, it's because like, don't you? Is that the key that you get for completing the?
It's
Thieves
one
Guild?
of the Daedra quests. And
It's a
Daedra.
Oh, is it a Daedra quest? Okay,
Yeah.
I know there's also one that you get like. I mean, the point isn't like if you get your security high enough, your luck pick just doesn't break anyways.
That's 100 though.
That's never.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but like I mean, but if you exploit it to just get it to 100, like then whatever.
Well, also when you first exit the prison, if you stand underneath one of the signposts on the dock, it's only an inch above your head, so you can actually rapid spam jump because your jump cooldowns based on when you hit the ground. And so that's
You can just exploit the
yeah,
acrobatics.
spam acrobatics there.
If you play the game and don't end up having every single stat end up being 100, I feel like you're doing it wrong.
Well, there's some that are hard to like grind out.
A lot
Yeah.
of the spells back to back or different magics back to back.
Yeah, the
I
different
suppose,
magics.
but I
Magics, I think, are the easier ones because you
They're
can
easy.
spam them. Like,
Yeah.
you can literally just hold the cast button down and it will literally just chain cast for you. So I think that.
that's what I do sometimes. I'll like hold like if I want to like level up alteration or something like that. I'll just have an alteration spell. I'll keep it down and then I'll just occasionally tap my like 7 because that's what I have my sorcery potions put to. So I'll just be like
Nice.
7 hold.
I mean, who maxes speech? You have never maxed speech in
Speech?
Oblivion. The minigame?
The mini game? What do you mean?
Like
The persuasion?
Yeah.
Persuasion, yeah.
Where you get them to 100?
You have never gotten your skill to 100, though, is what I'm saying.
I know. I don't know if I ever got it to 100. I'm not sure.
I think in my old games I might have.
If you did, you were using training for it.
Well, yeah, but like
And all of your other skills were at 100?
no, just the important
But
ones.
then you just...
Sneak.
Okay, so my entire... I'm responding to the fact that you said that if all of your skills
are
are
100, I know you're
you're playing
doing it
wrong,
wrong.
and I was like, ... Who gets their speech to 100?
I don't know, some people do. I've done it before.
I'd like to-
Apparently, Tiki the Hut has.
Tiki's on your side.
Speech pie sells.
Slides.
Slices?
Slices.
Slices. Oh,
They
that's
did a good job of making that like an actually useful. Like,
Oh, it is. So I just, like, once you have,
yes ability.
Mhm.
I just find once you have a charisma of like 100, or personality, excuse me, of 100, and speech of like 60, everybody maxes out to you anyway.
Yeah.
So why would you ever play the mini game past still level 60.
To get it to 100. Wait, what do you mean?
I don't
There's
think
no way that people stand there under a fucking ceiling and
Exactly.
spam jump.
that takes 5 minutes.
I just talked to everybody in the main city,
Literally.
and it's fine.
I don't believe.
I'm gonna start a game, and I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna see how long it takes me to talk to everybody in the city to get to up that speech skill.
All right, challenge accepted.
I'm not gonna shake on this. I'm gonna shake. No, don't make me like do a video about it.
Yes, I will.
No, that's what I'm not shaking on. I'll do it, but not for a video. Thighs at 100 is better than speech at 100. That's fine. That's fair. I agree. I agree with that. Ooh, yours is dry enough. Okay.
Yay.
Watch
So,
time.
It's wash time for your base. So, you have two options for what you could do. You have to have a couple options for what you could do. You could put a color over this and tint it and actually make it go a completely different tone, which can you go grab one of the Space Marines, please? And I wanted to show her. Oh, never mind. I already did this.
Yay.
So, this is actually a gray texture paint that I then put this over top
Okay.
to create this color tone.
Okay.
Now, because we went with the brown, it will have a little bit of a brown tint to it, so you
That's-
could do like purples if you wanted, and I think it would completely mask that brown. You wouldn't even see it. You could also go more orange, like if you wanted to have them be on like red sand or something like that, you could easily do that. But if you want to keep it basic and keep it just relatively simple, I would say do Seraphim Sepia,
Okay.
very thin wash, just to give it a little bit of depth. But
Okay.
do this very thin. You're gonna want to add water to this, like to really like thin it down.
Okay.
'Cause I don't think you want to go like super dark, but I think you can go darker.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you want to just like get in there.
You want to
Okay.
bathe
I
it.
want you to bathe it. We're
Okay.
gonna actually, you know what? I'm gonna get you a bigger brush.
Okay, fine.
We're gonna
Okay, give her one of the Viscatas.
yeah. So this is a big tip brush. All right. We're just gonna go in. It's super saturated.
Oh.
I'm spinning it only because it's got a lot of liquid on there,
Okay.
and just put it on the base, and then start spreading it around.
Okay.
It's okay if it gets on the rim.
It's okay if it gets on the rim. That's not gonna matter. But just spread
Okay.
that around. It's okay if it
Apparently-
gets on the shoes. It's gonna just add a little extra shadow.
Apparently, I don't know who was saying it in the chat. Luke maybe really wants the black rim.
Oh yeah, he wants the rim to be black. We'll do that at the end because it's the final step. That's the satisfying final step of being like it's finished.
Okay.
I believe that, Luke.
Wow.
What happened?
The way of getting blocked to 100.
Don't believe her lie.
No, not that part. The part below it from Luke. You
Oh.
should be reading the part from Luke.
I'm sorry.
Don't pay attention to
I
what the
got
man behind
blocked
the
to
curtains.
100, put a rubber band around my controller, and then went to dinner. Gets the rat. That's amazing. That's great.
I'm amazed that I actually got to 100 in just a dinner time. I would assume a rat is so low level it would get.
It would take forever.
Yes.
I mean, maybe if you had a really long dinner. You know, I mean, we don't know how long his conversation might have been at dinner.
It could have been a 20-minute dinner.
It could have been. It could have been.
20 minutes. I actually would expect that to take hours.
Oh, okay.
With the leveling, with
for
the
dinner, an hour, two.
yeah,
Well,
maybe,
I'm going with the idea that Oblivion's XP scales based on the enemy that you're working with. So a
That's
level
fair.
1 rat, I'm assuming by the time you're at like level 80 block, it would be like 1 XP.
That's true. I actually didn't think of it that way. That's fair.
that is true. Fair enough. But
Systems design.
yay! Cleaning up my spikes. I think I'm gonna do them green.
Yeah, Tiki, won't the fish get you? Won't the slaughter fish get you?
Did not go well, apparently.
I guess you could swim in a cave.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you got the right cave, yeah.
Yeah.
Although the slaughterfish are not that common.
Well, no, but if you're just like AFKing in the water,
AFK swimming.
Oh, I suppose.
I do
yeah.
think they kind of just patrol.
Oh, that's fair.
Um,
You just go to the basic.
Oh, they drown.
Oh no.
You probably get enough momentum downward, and eventually it breaks the surface.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. Well, that's why you just need to get the ring, so you don't have to drown.
Not hard to get the spell for water breathing.
It's also not hard to get that ring. Like
You say
First-
that it took me like 3 hours to find the slaughterfish.
3 hours?
It took me like half of one of your streams once because I could not find them. I was following the icon,
Uh-huh.
and I know I went all the way down to the bottom and checked.
Oh no, they're completely just not at that icon.
Yeah, they bugged out a couple of times, and I just couldn't find like any slaughterfish. Like at one point for like 45 minutes.
Got it. Do you guys know the ring I'm talking about with the slaughterfish? Okay, so when you first exit the Imperial Sewer or the dungeon, I guess, like when you're exiting for the tutorial for Oblivion, there's the Alien Ruin right out there. If you go to the left and head towards the main entrance gate to the Imperial City where the Black Mare like stables is or whatever, there's 2 houses outside there. There's an inn, and then which has a guy randomly who you can sell to that is definitely worshiping Sithis. And then he's a great vendor. He has like 2,000 gold. He's actually a really good vendor to sell stuff to early on because he's got a lot of gold for you to be able to scam him off of. And then, but next to that is a guy who specifically has a quest for you who's like, my man, I gotta tell you about how I'm just getting absolutely wrecked by these fish. But like, there's this wizard who really wants their scales, and I would love it if somebody could give me those scales so I could get this. Well, what you get as a reward for that is a ring that gives you water breathing. So you can get it like first thing in the game. I almost always do. And you don't have to then, like, I never have to worry about underwater dungeons anymore.
Yeah.
So I just, like, then you could swim and do your I'm assuming it's an athletics exploit that you're getting with the swimming.
Swimming gives you more athletics XP than running by a multiplier.
Ah, okay.
So theoretically, if you were to AFK just swim at a wall, it would get you more XP than.
Got it. So you could do that then safely because you would then have the ring, which would just, like, I mean, no one's gonna. They can't seal things off of you, so you just have that, and you could just, if you would end up underwater, you wouldn't drown because you'd have the ring of water breathing.
Yeah, I
can't remember. You did something else
that
too.
quest
Or
because
by athletics.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
I'm like, you can't tell me to go fetch things for you. Don't make me do your chores. Yeah, don't make me fetch things.
I'm not playing an MMO. No, that's fair. But like, I actually like it because I really value that ring.
No, that's actually so good to know. I probably should do that quest.
There's also the athleticism lets you like run a little faster.
True, yeah.
Just in general.
Do they have that stat in Skyrim?
Running? Or
It
what?
might just be acrobatics in Skyrim.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Chat, did Skyrim have athletics?
I think it does.
Because I think they cleaned Skyrim up a bit, although magic's a mess, but...
I'm just really glad that the bows work like they do in Skyrim and the new Oblivion remaster. Because I remember the stealth archer was actually a little finicky from what I remember in like the original game.
Oh, in Oblivion.
Yeah, like the OG.
Yeah, even though it was finicky, I loved.
Oh, I still did it.
I loved being a stealth archer.
Oh no, I did too. But I feel like when I started Oblivion, you know, for the first time since the remaster, I was like, this feels like more the Skyrim
Yeah.
mechanic.
Like, did they get rid of attributes in Skyrim?
No, but what they did do is there's no athletics or acrobatic skills. Instead, there's speed and agility attributes.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Well, I kind of like, you know, I'm obviously doing my D&D campaign, but I have this idea for if I ever do another D&D campaign, or if my character somehow dies, I want to do the like bard of like dance, but I want it to be like a pole dancer.
That's awesome.
So she'll like walk around like with like a pole, but it would still be like melee with like the feet, you know, kind of that.
Feel like a Bayonetta kind of
And
thing.
very-
Like you
very
plant it in the ground.
Yes. Yeah, very much a Bayonetta, you know, pole dancey. I don't know. Anyway, so that was kind of that's like my next.
That's
next
awesome.
Character. My first character, because this is my first time like actually playing D&D that wasn't like a one shot, like having a campaign, like truly making my own character. And so I had like no idea, like role playing wise, like what to do, what I wanted to do. So my first character is very much just like me trying to figure out how I want to like
Figure it out.
how to figure it out.
I get it. That's honestly my first characters in D&D too. Like I had like the most basic concept. I didn't really like go full in depth to like a story. When I played in the last Curse of Strahd campaign. Oh, you know what? I lied. I said earlier that Curse of Strahd campaign 5 years ago was our last D&D campaign. That is not true. We briefly started a Descent into Avernus campaign, which unfortunately did not get very far, and I'm a little sad about that because I had a bard character that had a kind of an interesting concept that was very not typical bard, because I know like bards in D&D are all very musical. I actually went, instead of doing dance, I went fine arts. So I actually had her painting.
Fun.
She had a giant paintbrush as her weapon.
Oh my god!
And,
like a Splatoon character.
A little bit. And so, but what I would do is like I would, in order to do attacks, my concept was that I would form from clay a miniature version of whatever enemy we were fighting.
Okay, fine.
And use the paintbrush and paint colors to do damage to them, kind of like the Pictomancer in, I think that's what it's called, that they recently released in Final Fantasy XIV. They had like a new subclass come in that was using a giant paintbrush and like paints things to do all of their damage. And I really like that concept. And I'm like, Bard is so like weirdly restricted into Troubadour, because I know that like that's the concept of it, you know,
right.
Performing, like traveling performer and stuff like that. But I'm like, I feel like you can have, because there are so many performative arts that happen because of like YouTube and all this stuff, I was like, what if we like expanded it out? And I really hope that down the line, Wizard of the Coast actually maybe expands the bard concept into being more than just like performative arts and actually ends up doing, it can be any kind of art or something like that. I think that'd be a really interesting concept. I don't know how they would do it specifically.
But I get what you're saying, like expanding that whole...
fuck. And that's why we hate these pots. It's fine. It's fine. I got it. No, it's not even your fault.
I know. I just feel bad. Like it feels like so much paint just
It was, but it's okay.
Everywhere.
It's okay.
Which one was it?
It was Seraphim Sepia. We have tons of it.
Oh, that's fine.
Yes, it's just a wash. It's not one of... Honestly, I'm more upset with it when it's the contrast paints. I actually have like...
No one's miniatures went into it or anything?
No one's miniatures went into it. It's fine.
I think the base.
I think the
base is fine.
The bottom of the...
That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, no, it's underneath here. There we go.
Sorry, trying to fix the zoom.
There we go.
Now you just have a nice wash on this board.
It's fine.
Wouldn't be the fifth.
It wouldn't be the
fifth time.
I was gonna say it wouldn't be the 500th time. Let me get some new paper towels, at least for our paint. I mean, you don't actually need the paper towel much anymore. You're almost on to the...
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty...
Hey, can you run this in and hit it with a blow dryer gently on low heat, please, to dry it?
Yay.
That way I can get these onto tufting. Actually, while he's doing that, I'm going to finish sealing this paint pot so I don't bump it back over. And I'm going to pull out some tufts for you to decide what you want to do tuft-wise.
Okay, fun.
I have an overwhelming number of options for you.
Oh, good.
So, you have options, but
oh my
we'll
god,
go through
those
things.
are so cute.
Yeah. So we have a whole variety of different flowers.
Oh my god.
Comes in a bunch of different colors, so you can pick and choose.
What are these made out of?
So it's little fiber grasses, and then they put these little they put a little bit of adhesive, and then they have these little sprinkles of paper, colored paper, and that's what ends up being the fabric or the flowers on top. So a bunch of different colors: pink, yellow, orange, dark blue, purple, and some red. You also have a variety of just normal grass tufts that you can go with, and there's various themes. So if you want to go sort of pale prairie grass, you can. We can go a little bit darker tundra grass. We can go dead grasses, other types of dead grasses, lighter sort of in the process of dying grasses, swampy looking grasses, tons of different options.
Oh my gosh, so do you get this from all in the hobby, a hobby store?
Yeah, you can get these all in a hobby store. These ones, so these ones are from Army Painter, which is one of the brands of paints that we've been working with.
Okay.
This is so they make both paints as well as tufts. These ones are actually from a company called Gamer's Grass, which is one of my favorite companies. And the reason I like them is you can kind of really distinctly see the difference here. You see how the Army Painter ones are perfectly round and the Gamer's Grass ones are fun shapes that maybe look a little bit more natural, like real grass grows. I like the Gamer's Grass ones because of those wild shapes is what I call them. So this is now dry for you to be able to start tufting. These are self-adhesive, so you do not need extra glue for them or anything. They should just stick on. The one thing I will say is you might want to press them down a bit.
Okay.
With a... That's fine, don't worry about that. Oh, thank you. With something just a little bit firm. So I'm going to give you this little, like,
nice.
Q-tip thing. And that is basically going, all you're going to do is once you've got it on there,
Yeah.
You're going to kind of just
Like press in the middle.
Yeah. And you be a little gentle because sometimes the flowers will pop off. The other thing that I'm going to give you to make your life immensely easier is... Oh, are they downstairs?
They are. I'll go get them.
Okay, can you go get the,
Yes, also thank the new members.
tweezers? Oh, thank you, Robert, for the... Welcome to the Hobby Night Legion. Thank you so much for becoming a sponsor. I think you've been a sponsor before. Thank you for continuing your sponsorship. Yes, actually, I can tell because you have an orange star. Robert, thank you so much for rejoining the Hobby Night Legion. It's lovely to have you be a continued member of our community. Thank you so very, very much. Okay, so we're gonna get you...
one might be a bit tough.
Very nice. We're gonna get some tweezers, which is a little bit easier to grab these off because they come off pretty clean, but having a tweezer just makes it a little easier to grab.
Oh, the tweezers to grab? Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Ooh. Okay, so I recommend
I
these.
mean, in theory, I don't know if it makes sense to have flowers.
I think you could do some purple or pink ones
So I was
very
gonna
easily.
say the purple or pink feels like it kind of matches.
Totally does. And honestly,
Just
what I
for
would do,
fun.
what I would do then is I would make your life easy, and I would just pick a green that is similar to the green
That makes sense.
that you're here, so that you can kind of blend it in.
Okay.
And
I think I might go. Even though I think I was intending for her to be pink, I feel like she's leaning a little more
purpley.
purpley.
That's absolutely fine.
Robert Dresser did have a question before.
Yes.
I don't know if you asked.
I don't think I got to see his question. Please let me know what it was.
Pointing at.
Oh, I'd love to see a spicy collab stream on the other side down the road. Don't worry, Robert. That's coming. We are planning some things, both for some stuff on her page as well as some stuff on my page. Don't worry, we will be getting there. I am looking for... Aha. They also make some super tall ones.
Oh my goodness.
I thought Robert, your name was. I was like, wait, I thought Robert Dresser already was a Legion.
He
But
was.
I can, sometimes I can't remember if it's Legion or Patreon. Or,
It's all the Legion. It's all the Legion.
Well, I just mean I don't remember where I see the name.
Oh, I understand. Oh, the other thing is we do also have some colored grasses. So if you want to maybe not do the flowers, but you still want some color, you can do some colored ones. These ones are fun because they're like neon.
Oh my god.
These are the green ones that I used on that.
Feels very
that one's-
cyberpunk.
A little bit, yes. There's some red, bright blue. So yeah, there's a lot of different options. But I think going the flower route and then doing a green grass is probably like keep it
It's
simple
just
on
kind of
yourself.
fun.
Exactly.
Just sitting a bit.
Alright, then let's set that over there. I'm gonna suggest maybe these ones. I think like that seems to
Yeah, I
To
think
blend
that
pretty-
blends in with the.
yeah, they all
They all kind of blend. Yeah,
Cool.
I think they all blend in there.
Awesome. So I'll let
Yeah.
you do that. So basically, it's a little hard to tell the shapes of the flowers. So if you
Oh,
want to
look at
see
the
the
back.
bottoms, look at the
Okay.
back. This will kind of give you an idea. One of the things that I like to do is these kinds of shapes where they have like a little like notch in there like
Mhm.
that works really well to be against feet. So
Like they stepped on it. or
yeah, like they
something.
stepped on it and it's just
Yeah.
like a portion of it. There's also the really tiny ones, so if you feel like you're like, oh, I have a flower, but I want a little bit of extra green next to it, you can grab like one of these really tiny ones
Got
and do
it.
that. Actually, I
Okay.
think this is the flower, so you could
Yeah.
do a really tiny flower. But yeah, feel free.
Okay.
Have fun. There is literally no rhyme or reason to how to put these on specifically. What I tend to do is I start in one location and just kind of keep adding tufts until I feel like it looks natural and like realistic.
Okay.
Like even if I'm using weird wacky colors or whatever, I still kind of want it to look like seeds have intentionally been scattered here or been moved here in some way, and this is making like
Totally.
that kind of vibe. So feel free to just have fun, go for it. And They're easy to pull off.
How many miniatures have like base, like actual like
Sculpted ones?
like sculpted bases versus like plain?
Depends on the game system, really.
Okay.
Warhammer, less, unless it's a special character.
Yeah.
Normally it does, but any troop does not. There we go. Does not have fancy bases.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But like Marvel, almost everything in Marvel has at least a slightly sculpted base.
Okay.
So everything in Marvel has a sculpted base because
Got it.
all of
Because their
Marvel
basic bases.
because their
sculpted.
basic bases are sculpted. Like this is a Marvel base unpainted. They come like this, so they come with the cracked pattern of
Right.
concrete stuff on there, and there's a variety like variations of
'Cause
them.
it's like very street great.
Street great, exactly. Like this one actually you can see. So this goes on top of this, but like you can put it on anyone. But this one had like a actual great material with like some brickwork.
Got
So
it.
like it's dependent, but like literally all of the Marvel Crisis Protocol models, which is what those ones are, will come with sculpted bases. Now
Okay.
some of them will come with additional sculpted portions that you have to then attach to the base. But most games will do what like BattleTech and Warhammer does, and only I actually don't know if BattleTech does any sculpted bases because theirs are actually attached to their base before you even you don't actually assemble these ones; they come pre-assembled.
Oh.
But the ones where you have to assemble them, most of the time they come in unsculpted bases.
Okay.
40k will only do sculpted bases for really important like named characters, which is why that's not entirely true because sometimes they do this where they give like random characters sculpted bases because this is just like a random troop choice, but this wasn't a fancy like starter set box, hence they gave some fancy bases.
Okay.
But it's usually either named characters or like you're buying a small box set that is a special like limited edition type thing, and those will sometimes have sculpted bases. But most of the time, most miniatures do not come with sculpted bases.
Okay.
It's a little bit less of a common thing. Although, as I mentioned, with the Marvel ones, like it's becoming more common. And I think actually think the Fallout ones all come with sculpted bases as well. Or at least some of them do, because like this is a sculpted base. Like this base came with him with the little rad roach and all that stuff.
Okay.
on
And
it.
then did you add those little tufts?
Yeah, I added the tufts, but that's the only thing I actually added to this base. Everything else was just me painting the base, and then
Cute.
I was like, it needs a little bit of
It needs
grass
a little fun, a little pop.
because the grasses are hard. But like, I didn't even put a grass on his because he's in a crackled, like
Yeah.
dry. There isn't any water here, so there's probably not gonna be anything growing. But like all that texture and detail and
Was that
stuff.
the Goggins mini?
It's the ghoul
ghoul.
The
from
Walter Goggins mini.
yes, the Walter Goggins. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot his name. But yeah, like all of these ones came with like sculpted bases. So I think a lot of the Fallout ones do as well, although some of them don't. 'Cause I know
I don't know if rank and files do or don't.
some of I can check because I have the other. We'll check afterwards the other Fallout ones that I have because I have that random set of.
Look it up online, I'm sure.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you could actually check. Look for the pack that came with just the survivors from the vault, like the vault survivors.
I was looking at Brotherhood Seal first.
Okay, that works too.
You know what? No, they do come with sculpted base.
I thought they did. I was like, I think they come with sculpted
Yeah,
bases.
you're right. You're right.
So yeah, some of them will come with sculpted bases. I think it depends on the IP, honestly. Like if it's an IP, they come with sculpted bases because they're trying to make it match the IP.
Okay.
Like if
Got
that
it.
makes sense. Whereas like if it's GW, I mean they do the sculpted bases as I said, but they're also like you can do it yourself. They've also like unlike say Marvel Crisis Protocol or those kinds of things, GW used to actually encourage its players to use non-GW models for their games. Isn't that crazy?
Okay.
They actually used to encourage like kitbashing in like their magazines and stuff and like highlight the fact that people could make tanks out of like soda cans and various other stuff, and now they don't. Or at least they don't as often as they used to. It's really sad. It's a part of the community that I think is unfortunately been lost as the company has gone more public and tried to increase its reach. They've sort of abandoned some of their more creative
I mean, couldn't that be said of almost every IP?
Oh no, it totally is. It is the truth of almost every IP. The larger it gets, the less that they try to be like unique. Yeah, exactly. Which is again a shame. But whatever, it happens. You had a glow-in-the-dark paint from another company? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, there's some really cool, like, fluorescent paints and stuff out there that, like, do some neat stuff in, like, under blacklight and everything that I've seen some people, like, they'll paint, one thing that I've seen done really cool is with the Tyranids. They'll do, they'll paint it in fluorescence and then put normal opaque sometimes, like, as a base color over top of it so that those fluorescent edges end up being just a trim. And so they'll end up having them go into, like, a black light, and it'll be this really cool effect of like the complete visuals of the monster changes because of the sudden change in the color and everything.
That's so fun.
It is. It's like there's one of the reasons I like miniature painting is because it incorporates, in my personal opinion, it incorporates a lot of different art forms into one, and also is inherently a collaborative process, which I like to think that art should be a collaborative process. Like, I think it can, obviously there's people who will do like paintings individually, etc.
Right.
But I do feel like art can often be a collaborative experience because there's the process of making the art, but also the process of experiencing, engaging with the art, which I also just feel like is a key part of art as a whole, as like a medium.
Totally.
And one of the reasons I like miniatures is because this has already had an artist's touch on it. Oh, it's just, yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Scared me.
It will. It's just the base is magnetic. Her tweezers
connected
right to it. Yep. But because this has already had an artist's touch on it by being literally a sculpture, I always like that. I always feel like I'm adding to somebody else's work and like creating this like chain of art. And it's really fun for me.
Collaborative art.
Yeah, I like it. Partially why I got into YouTube. Oh my god, I love it. Yes, I love it. I honestly don't think you need to do more.
Yeah, I feel like I did enough.
No, you did. I think that's great. So the last step to really sort of finish off your model is to do exactly what Luke was talking about. And all you need to do is we're going to grab some black paint. Right here. I got it.
Okay.
Save your grasses.
We're going to grab my tiny vacuum.
Oh my god, that's...
They're technically designed for like
Keyboards.
keyboards and stuff, but I don't find it works very well on a keyboard. It works great at picking up basing materials and other junk on my table though. Thank you, Rudy, if you're in chat, for sending that to me. So all we're gonna do now is, well, what you're gonna do. I'm not quite at this. Okay.
You're like,
I'm behind. Oh, I'm gonna throw paint a little bit as well. Here's your paintbrush back.
Thank you.
All you're gonna do is, and I'll demonstrate because you can do this at this point.
I'll dramatically zoom.
Dramatic zoom.
All right, so you're gonna get some black paint. You're gonna put it on your brush. You're gonna sort of hold it sideways so that the side of the brush is against the brim, and then all you gotta do is just paint that edge.
Okay.
And you can kind of spin the base on the with the cap and everything, and just hold your brush there. I'm moving mine back and forth just to get spread a little faster. But you just...
It's amazing how
Go
good
up
that
to
shot looks from this far.
I know, right?
It looks so good.
The DJI has a pretty good camera on it. But that's all you gotta do. That's your last step. And that
Nice.
will sort of finish off the miniature. Don't worry if you get a little bit onto the edge of the top side. It's fine. It's really not a big deal.
The end of the world.
No, if anybody in chat tells her it's the end of the world, if she gets black on her like texture box,
It's so
I will ban them.
They can bully me a little bit. It's
No, they cannot. I refuse. But yeah, that is the last step of getting your miniature rimmed. Which, yes, make all of the jokes that you want, chat.
My miniature is being rimmed.
Hell yeah. It just creates a little scene.
The border.
It's a border. It's like painting it like it's a black base again, because it started as a black base, and we're just fixing that. We made a little mess there. Alright, where's my skeleton horde? Here it is. We need to buy another one. This is our last bottle.
Yeah.
I have searched and searched, and this is it.
So, the Citadel paints.
Yes.
Is that... Like, why is it called Citadel? Is it just the brand? Or...
I don't know the origination of the name, but they're owned by the same parent company as Warhammer.
Okay.
And Citadel is like... I don't know the origin. It's really heavy.
Yeah, it's had the same name since at least when I was a kid, so I don't know the origin of it.
Because the name Citadel is very fantasy name. I just was curious if there was like a
all of their naming conventions are thematic to their IP. Like that's why like
back in the day the miniatures for Warhammer were Citadel miniatures.
Yeah, and I don't know like what the history of that like the Citadel company is. Like I don't know if it turned into Games Workshop, if it was always Games Workshop. Like I don't know that history, unfortunately.
But yeah, so they're the paints that, because Warhammer owns it, they're the ones that they use for all their tutorials, yada, yada, yada. But they are also, I think, almost universally the most expensive per ounce
I don't know
of the major hobby paints.
I don't know if that's true anymore.
Okay.
Mostly because Duncan's is actually quite expensive. Like, there's a couple others that are more expensive out there now.
May have been true at one point, but maybe not.
And it might still be true. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know it's up there.
They have one of the widest ranges, which helps.
Yes.
With a lot of the weirder technical stuff. However, a lot of companies have been catching up to them on that, especially in the last decade.
Yeah, the contrast paints, like, they were the first to, I mean, it's just inks. It's just acrylic inks. That's all contrast paints are.
But it triggered an arms race.
It did, and there's a bunch of companies now that all have very fluid paints like this that are essentially contrast colors. They just call them something different, obviously. Like literally, actually, the army painter's version of contrast is called speed paints because it's supposed to be a quick painting method.
Chat is telling us that they were separate companies to begin, and that Citadel Miniatures originally made miniatures for other games as well, which makes sense because Games Workshop used to publish, well, they still publish the same magazine, but their magazine used to cover things like Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop games at the time. So they made miniatures for that. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I thought the history might have been, but I don't know it well enough that I didn't want to, like, say anything and be wrong. Because I thought I feel like I remember, like, honestly reading about it in, like, a White Dwarf or something? Or maybe it was just like a history video we were watching. I don't remember.
Angela, should the two of you take a moment to stand up and stretch? Asks Chat.
I mean...
That's up to you,
I mean, realistically, I probably should.
I mean, realistically, I should. Will I stretch? Will I be a good girl and do that? I don't know. Maybe. You know what? Maybe. I'll stand up for you. Stretching! There you go.
You're like, that's it.
That's what you get. I'll stand here for a moment and paint. How's that? It's like I'm at a standing desk. Oh, I didn't paint your... Oops.
What?
I just didn't clean up
the teeth.
His teeth.
Yeah, I didn't paint my person's teeth, but they're so tiny.
No, I don't think that's necessary. My guy's got like some big honking tusks.
Yeah, yours
like,
are sticking out a lot more than mine are.
Yeah, so you gotta do that. It's fine. It's actually blending in well enough, and he's an orc. He can have slightly green tusks. It's fine.
Yeah.
The nice thing, one of the actual reasons that I like, there's a lot of reasons I like contrast paint, but one of the actual reasons I like it is because it actually layers very well onto itself, and you can kind of cover, like this doesn't look nearly as green to me as it once did. Like, that tooth was really green, and now it doesn't really look green anymore.
Yeah, no.
But I didn't actually clean it up, so it's like... Alright, I need wildwood.
It's enough on the table.
I think it is. I think half my contrast colors are on the table.
At least the ones we use.
Aha, there it is.
Make sure you close that one pot you're not using.
The skeleton horde that's near the antique?
Yes, I don't want to run out.
You don't want to lose it. You mean you don't want to have another spill on the table?
Correct.
Heck yeah. 2 ladies painting Warhammer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, that should probably be metal. I can complete this miniature before we end.
I believe in you.
Shay, Robert has a question for you.
Oh, what's the best place to follow my content? That's a great question. I post everything on my Fansly, but if you want my more specific, which is my handle, ShyGothXib brand on Patreon, is a great place to be.
Yes, it is on screen.
Yes, we have it on screen for you guys to be able to find her. That's her handle across most social media platforms, I believe.
Yes. Basically, I think the only one that's different is OF.
Yep.
That is ShyGoth Secrets.
Which I do have her linked on my own page, so if you happen to be a user of that site, you can always find her through me if you happen to already be there on my page. Because I have added you as a friend, that you show up on my page and you're just like, look, a friend. Do you like other girls? Here you go. Here they are. Yeah. I just need to do a little bit of silver on there, and then I'll need to grab my... I keep forgetting that brass. Okay, we gotta do the brass as well.
Oh no, you keep forgetting.
I keep forgetting that little like edge that I just don't want to paint. It looks amazing. You did such a good job.
Thank you.
You should be very proud.
My first miniature.
Your first miniature turned out fantastic. Part of the wood, Angela.
I like the grass.
I know the grass is so.
It
cool.
adds a lot, right? Like it really just adds a little bit of oomph to that base.
Really nice.
No, it looks so cool.
Continued question for you from Robert.
Yes. So you can subscribe on my Fansly. My OnlyFans is just pay-per-view, but Fansly you can subscribe, and Patreon you can subscribe.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, they're asking if you have a no PvE option. Thanks.
Yeah, so if you subscribe, you have access to all of my videos. Or it just depends on what you're subscribing to.
There's options.
I have options.
The way
yes.
that Fansly works.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's like you can do PPV if you want it on Fansly, but there's also like, subscriptions.
Yes.
Well,
I think you're good.
my work feels so tiny compared to yours.
Well, that's because my orc is a giant orc. My orc's a big beefy guy, just like I like him.
Mine's a delicate lady.
Yeah.
Very
So
delicate.
precious.
Very strong.
Oh,
You missed that wrap.
I missed that wrap, and I need to do the brass. The brass is happening first. Where is it? There it is. It's in.
Okay.
I think that's why I've been avoiding it. Because I think I set it off to the side,
And
like out of the way, and I was like, "Where is it?
it doesn't
It
exist.
doesn't exist anymore."
Yeah.
I guess I need to contact Duncan and be like, "Hello, can you send me some paint?"
Please send me more paint.
And he'll be like, "No, go buy it like everybody else." And I'll be like, "Okay, all right, I will."
The black brand is a tournament rule in the UK. Oh.
Yeah, in I think it's actually a tournament rule in a lot of tournaments, although
For measuring like distance, it makes sense to be consistent.
well, it's also I think like they just want it to have like a clean, like a more like defined edge for like measuring purposes. Yeah, it tends to be. But yeah, having a finished base to some degree, meaning it has like a color on it and then has a black edge, is a tournament legal thing. That's only important if you're playing in actual tournaments, which I don't know.
That's like you're going to like.
Yeah, you're going to a
Okay.
convention and you're specifically
Okay.
like wanting to like play for usually prizes of some variety. Is that actually I actually don't know, what is the prize if you win?
Honor and glory.
Okay. Like, but do you get anything else if you win like a GW, like an official GW tournament?
Pussy.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
I don't know if that's true.
You don't think the golden demons like?
No, I do
the
not.
word,
I don't
like,
think.
brings all the ladies.
No, I do not think winning a
don't think
golden
so.
demon.
Depends on the lady, maybe.
Like it might bring you a lady, but I don't know if it
Yeah.
brings you all the ladies.
I don't think it's gonna bring the ladies.
I also don't know if it's gonna bring you the ladies. I mean, like it certain ladies it might, but I don't know if it's necessarily the ones that y'all are
Well,
wanting.
then I don't understand what.
Well, that's also the golden demon is only for the painting. That's not for their tournaments.
But no, I believe it is a glory and social media clout.
Yeah, I think so. I have myself never been a tournament scene type person. Like I've played in some tournaments casually, like at my local like game stores. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay,
a
everything's
tiny bit. I'm done.
What's
I'm
that?
done. Nothing. Nothing happened.
It's all fine. It's all
Nothing
good over here.
happened. I didn't just knock over my null oil onto
The
my
Noel
flat.
oil?
It was.
The stereotypical thing to knock over?
Yeah, I know. I just got it into my pink flowers too, staining them. Now they're corrupted.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
but
actually
now,
be cool,
see,
though.
but now you can have corrupted ones.
No, I
It's like
will.
birds on a
I'll
battlefield.
use it. I'll use it. But I'm like, I've actually done that.
Let's show it to the camera.
Yeah. You see the burnt, corrupted null oil. You're bringing it way too close.
I know, I'm trying to block your faces, though, so
It was focusing.
Here we
your
go.
mom is focusing.
I mean, maybe on blackjack possibly.
Yep.
I think she's in Vegas right now.
For Mother's Day.
And her birthday.
I'm trying not to dox her, so I'm
fair.
giving,
You're
like...
right. But
It's
No
not,
one's gonna-
It's not her birthday. It's her half birthday.
it's her half birthday. It's her.
Her cat's birthday.
It's her cat's birthday. It's her hat's birthday, actually. As long as it brings the Sisters of Battles, that's fair. That's fair.
I did not know that the Golden Demon winner was a lady. However, Luke, my point still stands.
Wait, aren't there multiple Golden Demon winners?
Oh,
though? Like, there's always like,
Oh, yeah, there is.
yeah,
I don't see why being a woman should mean that woman should get any less tame.
that's true.
It's true.
It's true. I mean, I guess if she wants the D instead of like
The P.
the P, it'd be fine. I guess.
No, I'm so implying she was still getting that.
She's just getting the ladies,
She's just
bringing all the ladies, drowning all the ladies. Listen, you know what? I'd be like, if I won the Golden Demon and it got me a bunch of hot ladies, I'd be very excited. Okay, I'm just saying, I'd be very excited. I'd
And
be like,
that's why they do it. You
And I
understand
said
that.
I see. Well, you know, I actually think we both managed. Let me turn
Yeah.
this on. And then I'm gonna hide us by full screen us while I get it turned off and then turned back on because I had it on apparently. And oh, I haven't tufted mine yet. Hold on. While he's expanding things. Okay.
But what? Why is that?
No. I listen. My
I made
brain-
it big for you.
my-
It's not what you want. Big.
I love it big. I only want it big, and we all know this.
Did you need it bigger?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I will make it bigger. Hold on. I'm making it bigger.
Honey, I
No,
always
okay,
need
Okay,
it
I'm
bigger.
making it big for you, dear.
Okay.
It's as big. That's as reasonably as big as I can make it on this monitor.
Okay. Excellent.
Woo!
Excellent. Here, let me get some focus going. Boop. Ooh. Oh,
Hey.
there we go. Look how beautiful she is.
She is amongst the purple flowers.
She is. I'm actually gonna grab one of these purple flowers real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, what purple flower are you gonna go for?
Yeah, I think
You know, my first time.
you should
I
be
feel like,
very
I feel like I
proud.
did something.
You should be genuinely, extremely proud of what you did for your first time. I think you did an exceptional job. What the fuck is? Oh, it's not dry enough. Well, so if you don't let it dry fully, that's what happens.
Oh no! It just peeled
Just
off.
just completely peel off. It's fine. This is why glue exists.
Wait, what came off?
Texture.
Oh.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, I forgot we're on this one.
Okay, I'm closing.
No.
this.
I haven't shown mine yet. Stop. It's fine.
What
See,
was that?
that was this clinking to this.
Oh, okay.
Do you guys see what happened? I put a tuft on and it stuck, but then it wasn't full, like my base is not actually dry yet because I didn't have mine blow dried to peel it. So it just popped off. It's cool. It's cool. We're just gonna, now that there's some texture paint on this, we're just gonna use the worst glue gun.
This is the muscle mommy orc for sure.
Oh yeah, she's totally, she's been looking at Rhea Ripley and she's like,
even if canonically this is not, I'm declaring it to muscle mommy.
oh no, I am convinced now that you have her painted, those are boobs.
Yeah.
Those are definitively boobs.
And
we were
D&D orcs are women and males.
Yeah, that's true. This is a D&D orc, so they have genders, as opposed to in 40k where they do not have genders. They're just orc. Okay, there we go. So what I'm
She's
gonna...
No, there's no backlash live stream. I'm sorry, guys.
No, we are not. I'm not going to be doing a backlash live stream. I will probably be doing one for the next major pay-per-view that happens. I know backlash is like one of their smaller ones.
Only 399 more to go for a horde. Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, I think mine is now
Yay.
complete.
And yours looks very cool.
Thank you. I think yours looks really good though. And what's nice is, there we go. They look like they belong together. Like they still look like they're part of the same horde, even though they are not identical in their paint schemes and everything, which I love, which is perfect. So I'm really, really happy. Do you want to keep your picture? I think you should keep her.
Yeah.
You should keep her.
Put her on my shield.
There you go. And you can, if you ever play an orc, you now have an orc.
my little orc
miniature. You have an orc miniature that you can use.
That's true.
For your...
Now I'll make a...
you might want to start her down because I think her rim is still drying a little bit. I definitely picked up part of the rim when I took her off. Well, I'll repaint that for you. The rim. But yes, that is wonderful. You did an exceptional job, and I think she's honestly, genuinely, really, really good. You should be extremely proud for your first time.
Yay.
And next time that I have Shea over, I have something a little bit, well, I don't think it's more complicated. I actually think it's going to be a very fun, relatively easy. We might even get it done in one stream, depending on how it ends up working. But we have another stream coming up. Shea bought us some really cool 3D printed Pokemon off-brands. It is from, I don't remember, I have the card downstairs. I'll have more details when we actually paint it. We'll tell you who the company is and everything, because I believe you can buy the STLs.
Yes.
As well as buying them physically from a store, at least if you're in the local area. But you can also get the files for if you end up wanting to print your own Pokemon in this style. But they're really cool. They're very, monster realism-like, and it's really cool stuff. We have a Charizard, so I have the whole Charizard group, which is what I'll be working on. I believe you're going to end up working on your Vulpix.
I've already done Vulpix.
Right, so she's going to be working on Vulpix, and then I think I'm going to actually have Seth be working on Haunter. I don't think he'll be working on Haunter on camera, but if he wants to,
he can show it off.
He can show it off, and I'm going to get prepped. And then you, if you want, can help me work on either the Charmander or I have Vaporeon.
I'm not painting Vaporeon.
Okay, you can paint the Charizard, then I'll paint Vaporeon.
Alright. There was a question in chat about P.O. boxes. On my listed hours, I don't know if you
We do not have a P.O. box.
Throne.
We have a throne wish list. We've been more active on that lately. We've been trying to update it more and keep up to date on that.
It's like we really want to,
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah, I do have an Amazon wish list. I do have a PO box if you just want to send me, if you're like, I don't want these miniatures anymore. Let me give them to somebody who will cherish and love them as part of their gray plastic hoard. It's me. I will take them. Especially if they're vintage.
Nice.
But really, honestly, if you're just trying to get rid of some cool miniatures that you don't want to have anymore and you're like, maybe Angela will like these, I'll send them to her in her PO box. You may absolutely do that.
Nice.
I also have a Throne wish list, and I also have a Amazon wish list, although those are geared very much more significantly towards the adult content than they are the hobby side of the content. Warning you, you have had your warning. There's some fun things on there. And I have no shame. All right. But yes, that is where if you want to send us stuff, you can. If you want to send Shea something, you can send it to my PO box. Just address it to her. I can get it to her. So like if there is something that you want to send her, if you're like I have this miniature and it looks like her and I painted it for her and I want her to have it or something like that.
Oh my God, yes, I would love that.
I've had a couple people send me some miniatures that they painted.
So
I'll show this to you later. I actually have one that he did up as me, like a guy painted it as me. It was like cool, like
I love that.
like a D&D type character, like barbarian warrior type character. Really cool looking. She's stunning. I also got a really cool sent to me, this like larger, it's not a bust, but it's definitely a larger scale miniature of an elf like statue essentially, and gorgeously done. The photos I took of it when it was originally sent to me did not capture it properly at all, because like the face is just really nicely done. I'll show that to you too. That was also sent to me by a fan. So yeah, if you guys want to send stuff, you absolutely can. And like I said, if you are like wanting to send something that's not on Shea's like throne wish list or something like that, but you're like, oh, I think she might like this, or I want to get her into miniatures, have this Warhammer miniature that she can paint next time or something like that.
I think on Throne I have it where you can recommend.
Oh yes, yes.
So if there is any recommendations, I'm always open to them.
Yes, and recommend her lots of minis so that she just has to come over and paint more with me, because it's really fun and I've been enjoying it. But I do think we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up today because it's almost 5 o'clock. Oh my God, we did it! We did a stream. We did 2 streams, and we actually completed our miniatures by the end of that stream.
We did.
I'm so proud of us. They look amazing. And
Yay.
I really hope that you enjoyed yourself. Thank you.
I did enjoy myself
So much for coming on. I'm gonna make a loud noise by, of course, having the metal of my clippers go straight onto the bottom of my handle. But that's fine. But yeah, I had a really great time as well. And you guys can find more of us in the future, both on her page, which I will be joining her hopefully sometime in the near future.
Yes.
I'm actually really so I actually had an idea and I want to throw this out there because I think it's completely safe for work concept, but can still be done on the fan sites. Since you have done more pole dancing than I have, and I want to get into it.
Oh,
we could have a stream where you maybe teach me a little bit of some of the basics.
That would be so fun.
And that could be a really fun. I could go over to your place, but then you have the pole set up already, and like maybe we can plan something like that in the near future. So you can be hopefully looking forward to that. We will absolutely be painting more miniatures, and at some point on the fan sites, if you'd like to do this again, but with maybe less clothes on, we can absolutely do that, because
I'd love to do that.
I have definitely done some streams like that on my OF, and I am more than happy to do more of them. So I think that is going to be it for us today. Shea, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for hanging out with us as well. Chaos Cultist, thank you for being here and helping us manage chat and everything.
Yep.
Guys, you were awesome. I really appreciate that there was such a huge crowd of you here today. It really makes me happy because I really want to get more people into painting miniatures, and you guys are helping me do that by showing Shea how cool it is and being really active. So thank you guys very much for that. To all of my members, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We really can't do this without you, so thank you guys very, very much. And we will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oops.